been joining us by 8 o'clock. And for everybody else who's been with us since 6 o'clock, well, good for you. I have, since we're all gathered, we might as well just proceed now to the next segment of the show, which is the newspaper review. We're looking at captions from the dailies, and that will take us through till the top of the hour, 9 o'clock. Okay. And the very first story that we do have here, you can catch up our stories on our Facebook page, Today95.1fm on Facebook. And of course, I keep saying it all the time. You have to like that page. You just have to like that page, and let's get to hear from you as regards the issues that we'll be putting up there concerning the newspaper review. The very first story, PDP accuses federal government of suppressing information on corruption. We're taking that story from This Day newspaper. PDP accuses federal government of suppressing information on corruption. Also from This Day newspaper, where World Bank approves 500 million naira loan for girl-child education in northern states. World Bank approves 500 million naira loan for girl-child education in northern states. Also from, this is now from The Guardian newspaper. Nigeria-China trade imbalance widens despite currency swap. Nigeria-China trade imbalance widens despite currency swap. Also from The Guardian, education. When will public varsities embrace e-learning? Education. When will public varsities embrace e-learning? And then we've got repentant Boko Haram member kills father in Borno, reveals Ndume. Repentant Boko Haram member kills father in Borno, reveals Ndume. Moving on into The Guardian newspaper, we have House of Reps caucus warns of impending killings in Kaduna, offers solution. House of Reps caucus warns of impending killings in Kaduna, or Reps caucus warns of impending killings in Kaduna and offers solution. Guardian newspaper has that story. And then ASU falls secret recruitment of academic staff at Uniport. ASU falls secret recruitment of academic staff at Uniport. And we also have from The Guardian newspaper, FEC OK's 8.64 billion naira for electricity deal with Simons. FEC OK's 8.64 billion naira for electricity deal with Simons. And then we'll move on to The Guardian Vanguard newspaper, where we have Ohaneze Pandef Afenifere react to Mieti Allah vigilante. Ohaneze Pandef Afenifere react to Mieti Allah vigilante. That's in the Vanguard newspaper. And the Vanguard, we also have here Nigerians in diaspora petition ICC over ongoing genocide in Nigeria. Nigerians in diaspora petition ICC over ongoing genocide in Nigeria. And also from the Vanguard, we have EFCC probe. Presidency sends Magus boys to police headquarters. EFCC probe. Presidency sends Magus boys to police headquarters. And then we'll move on to the Leadership newspaper. And in the Leadership newspaper, we've got INEC has power to deregister parties, appeal court rules. INEC has power to deregister parties, appeal court rules. And then from the Leadership, repentant Boko Haram will do more harm than good, says Senator Ndume and other victims. Repentant Boko Haram will do more harm than good, Senator Ndume and other victims are the ones speaking. Finally, Mieti Allah launches own security outfit. That story is from the Leadership newspaper. Mieti Allah launches own security outfit. So let's move to the stories proper. And we'll be starting with the very first we have from This Day newspaper. PDP accuses federal government of suppressing information on corruption. The People's Democratic Party on Wednesday accused the federal government under President Muhammadu Buhari and All Progressives Congress APC of diverting attention from corruption allegations. Addressing a press conference on Wednesday in Abuja, the National Publicity Secretary of Nigeria of the party, Mr. Kola Lobodian, called on Nigerians to note the blackmails, intimidation, and threats coming from the government quarters. He said the aim of the blackmails was to frustrate whistleblowers and truncate ongoing uncovering of widespread corruption in ministries, departments, and agencies under the APC administration. The PDP said one of such antics by the administration was the Tuesday press conference by the Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, wherein he called Nigerians to dare the federal government in its anti-corruption war. He said, our party is, however, not surprised that this corrupt administration resorted to distortion of facts and daring of citizens when its officials from the top to bottom are all soiled in the foul pottage of corruption. It is ridiculous that this administration seeks to claim credit for the investigation and unearthing of fraud in the EFCC when it is already public knowledge that the investigation only came as a result of pressure mounted by our party and other Nigerians. He explained that this is more so as the corruption in EFCC has reached an embarrassing crescendo and that could not longer be concealed. According to Ologbondian, such humongous corruption in the EFCC under the APC confirms the level of financial malfeasance and shameful breach of trust by this administration in which the very top officials of the Buhari presidency have been monitored. We challenge the APC-led federal government to give an account of the 800 billion naira which Lai Mohammed claimed to have been recovered, especially given allegations that recovered monies were being relooted and shared amongst top officials of the Buhari administration and the APC leaders. All right, so that's from the PDP accusing federal government of suppressing information on corruption. All right, Emmanuel Ndukwe is in the studio. Good morning.
Good morning, Annie. Good morning, Nigeria.
Precious UDK Esquire, Publicity Secretary, Nigerian Bar Association, Port Harcourt branch. She's also in the studio. Good to have you. Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning.
All right, so Emmanuel, let's start with you.
I think the PDP has a right as an opposition party to criticize government. However, I think the criticism should also be very apt. Now, when you say that the investigations ongoing in the EFCC is as a result of your party's effort, I think I will not cut into that because I want to believe that is the uproar that has existed in terms of suspicions of corruption that Nigerians at large have been raising, which includes the PDP members. And of course, when you raise such, the administration now decides to, okay, let us look into these things. Perhaps it has been ringing for such a long time. Let us do maybe an investigation to ascertain the veracity or otherwise of these cry of the citizens. What is wrong with that? Whoever elicited it, of course, humans are bound to point out certain errors to another. So that, they said the person dancing does not know how his back is. It is all that will tell you. So I don't see anything wrong. However, there may be certain genuine problems or grievances PDP has, and let them keep on firing them at the relevant quarters. If this administration is trying to suppress some information, it has been like that. And all I know is that one day, even if this one suppresses the information about its members, they cannot be in power forever. When another party takes over, if they will have the political will, at least as seemingly displayed by this administration, that one displays it. We also see exactly how the members that were suppressed, the information about them were suppressed, will now come to the front burner. That is just what it should take.
All right, Emmanuel, got your thoughts on that. Let's get to Precious UTK.
Well, the Hydra-headed monster called corruption in Nigeria knows no party. My take is that I would neither commend nor condemn the PDP nor the APC because the both parties have been tangled in this web of corruption. Yes, Nigerians would definitely have to re-examine themselves. The PDP has come and we saw what happened. And now it's the APC. Whether we like it or not, it's just same presence. It doesn't matter the party coloration they wear at the material time. So this issue of corruption, to me, has nothing much to do with party affiliations. It's got a whole lot to do with our content of character as individuals making up the entity called Nigeria. Definitely. Even those who have not had access to power today, sorry, I'm being a bit preemptive. You give them the opportunity, the story remains the same. So what is definitely wrong with Nigeria? So the PDP should not bask in that euphoria. Neither should the APC also, by the fact that they are taking the bull by the horn by investigating one of its own. What I think is Nigerians have to self-re-examine itself. I should think that it's time we go away from those persons who have one corrupt tendency or the other to look for. I know there was a certain time a lady called Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala served this country. Until today, I've not had any allegation of corruption against her proven anyway. So we need to shop for persons who have undented character, proven integrity to man the saddle, so that it doesn't matter the party, so that Nigerians can have its commonwealth safely protected.
All right. Got your position on that. Let's move on to another story from the paper. Still within this day newspaper, World Bank approves $500 million. $500 million. Is it dollars now here for the girl child education in? Yes, $500 million loan is a loan for girl child education in northern states. The World Bank on Wednesday approved $500 million credit for the International Development Association for the Adolescent Girls Initiative for Learning and Empowerment Program to improve secondary education opportunities among girls in some northern states. The bank listed the beneficiary states to include Kano, Kebbi, Kaduna, Katsina, Borno, Plateau, and Ekiti. It said in its statement that the project will support access to secondary education and empowerment for adolescent girls in the 7 states. According to the statement titled Nigeria to Boost Support for Keeping Adolescent Girls in School, the adolescent girls face many constraints in accessing and completing secondary education. The bank noted that in northern Nigeria, for instance, the lack of secondary schools was significantly greater, with up to 10 primary schools for every secondary school. Poor condition of infrastructure and a lack of water, sanitation, and hygiene facilities make it difficult for girls to stay in school. In addition, close to 80% of poor households are in the north, which makes it very challenging for them to cover the direct and indirect cost of schooling. All these factors have contributed towards limiting the number of girls that have access to secondary schools. If nothing is done, 1.3 million girls out of the 1.85 million who began primary schools in 2017-2018 in the northern states will drop out before reaching the last year of junior secondary school, the statement added. According to the bank, the Agile project is called AGILE project, will use the secondary school as a platform to empower girls through education, life skills, health education, GBV awareness and prevention, negotiation skills, self-agency, and digital literacy skills. The bank said a minimum of 6 million girls and boys will benefit from the project, and many more will continue benefiting thereafter. Commenting on the initiative, the World Bank's country director for Nigeria, Mr. Shubham Chaudhry, said there is no better investment to accelerate Nigeria's human capital development than to significantly boost girls' education. The Agile project will enable Nigeria to make progress in improving access to quality education for girls, especially in northern Nigeria, addressing the key structural impediments in a comprehensive way to create the enabling environment to help Nigeria ensure better outcomes for girls, which will translate into their ability to contribute to productivity and better economic outcomes for themselves and the country.
A good one, at least on the surface. Why I say on the surface is...
So if you go inside, it's not a good one?
I tell you, it might not be. Because on the surface, yes, like I said, it's very good. That plan is articulate. However, the implementation, because I'm sure World Bank will not come with a staff to come and implement them in Nigeria. You remember the last administration of former President Jonathan built Amajiri schools. How far are they being used now? It's not a matter of providing infrastructural facilities that will now carry people and then maybe glue them to using those facilities. So if, for instance, World Bank shares the loans according to the states it has in its catalog. Now, will those states manage their resources very appropriately? Will they also monitor? And I don't know how they are going to, because of the poverty level and all the hindrances here and there, how they are going to make sure that the girls truly stay in those facilities and receive the education that is needed. And that's why I say on the surface is good, but the implementation, which will mark the content, the inside, might not be good. So for me, it is only if those states are very willing to abide by the tenets of maybe, like they say, prudence management and all the rest of them, that it will benefit the girl child. As for the need, yes, it's a great need that the girl child should also be given education.
All right, we got your thoughts there. Let's move on to Precious UDK.
Yes, it's also commendable. However, the fact that I am minded to share the sentiments of a gamer, on the surface, it's commendable. It's a very laudable project. But then it's a loan, it's not a grant from the World Bank. I am even minded to query who applied for the loan. Did the states in question?
Obviously, the states will.
Okay.
The World Bank would not just come in and say, here, take loan.
Yeah.
If left with me alone, I would have prayed World Bank not to grant them the loan.
Why?
Why is because it is within the powers of a state government to fund education of girl children in the state for that matter. What stops them to say for girl children being to secondary, primary, secondary, and state-owned tertiary institutions, we are offsetting the bills for them. And then the best thing they could do is to go to collect loan. It is like something I know I can do for myself. Then I'm going to take loans to aid myself, doing it for my own self too. You know, it's worrisome to have states come together to go take loans to fund. Well, assuming I am minded to agree with them that there is a need to boost infrastructure within the education sector in the respective states. But then I would also have preferred the World Bank to monitor the implementation of the loan by saying, okay, let us know the number of girl child in each of these schools within the state. Let us also know the number of estimates how many two could be admitted, and so okay, for if the school fees is ₦1,000,000 for the maybe 300 students in so and so place in the state, we are going to pay till their graduation. But to say take the money, give to a state government, by 2023 there will be a new election. Like Ogema did note about the Amajiri system, the new government can come today, the monies are nowhere to be found, they will be saddled with the responsibility to repay the loans, and then nothing is on ground to even assess the fact that something has been done with respect to the loans obtained. So for me, I don't support it. Let us first help ourselves before running to the international community to obtain loans at every given instance. I know that a state can declare free education. It's happened here. Why not declare free education first for all the gay children in the state than running first to take loans? I as much as on the surface I had noted earlier that it is commendable, but I have the premonition that implementation will be a problem, as it's been here in Nigeria. Well, I give them kudos. Let them try, and I pray God it doesn't end the usual way events end.
Where the monies just go down the drain. You know, I understand the need to encourage a lot more northern girls, you know, to go to school. But you see, I think a lot of that money should also go into re-educating the people, because you might have, like you mentioned here, the facilities will be there, but will the families be willing to have their girl child or their girl children attend school? So I'm thinking that a lot more needs to do with orientation. You've got to also teach the parents why the girl child needs more access to school. And part of that re-education will be, you know, downplaying the girl child early marriage syndrome or whatever they have going on there, because for them it's really difficult to imagine they have to spend all that period sending a child to school when they think in a couple of years really she's going to be in somebody else's home and be a mother and take care of kids. So if she's done with primary school and perhaps maybe she's done a bit of secondary school, it's okay to have as she desires. I would think that will actually have a more fundamental shift. But I understand why we keep saying north, but who says that we don't have those sort of predicaments in these areas?
No,
maybe the numbers.
We must count first.
The numbers are the numbers are lesser. Yes,
and the south lesser.
But I mean, Ekiti is the only one that I see that seems to be there. And Ekiti, unfortunately for me, or should I say, I don't know, it's fortunately or unfortunately, Ekiti, I think, are very high up there when it comes to education.
Education, yes. I think they said is the
most literate, amongst the southwestern states.
Wow.
Well, maybe that's why they did that push too. Maybe they said we have to even
We have to continue that and have the female
we
population.
have to have even better figures than we have now. So moving, I think in Ekiti they said they have the highest professors. Yes, professors. That's what they said. All right. So from that to another story in the Guardian newspaper: Nigeria-China trade imbalance widens despite currency swap. Nigeria-China trade imbalance widens despite currency swap. It says here that Nigeria appears to be getting the short end of the stick in its bilateral trade relations with China as the Asian giant runs rings around Africa. Statistics show that historically lopsided trade relations may have worsened since the implementation of the bilateral currency swap agreement signed 2 years ago, as Nigeria's exports to China lags behind the huge yearly import volumes. Nigeria's Bureau of Statistics data indicates that Nigeria's share of the trade volume from 2013 to the first quarter of this year staggers at 11%. The value of Nigeria's total exports for the 8-year period was 2.0223 trillion, as against the 16.2 trillion the country frittered away on goods brought in from China. As small as the figures are, Nigeria's export is dominated by primary products like polymer, natural rubber, tin, granite, and charcoal, which production do not support expanded value chain that creates sufficient jobs. Some of them are processed in China and sent back to Nigeria as part of the large menu of finished products Nigerians import for immediate consumption. Although the idea was first touted between 2011 and 2014 during the regime of Goodluck Jonathan, the major selling point for the Nigeria-China currency swap agreement was in 2016, when the newly inaugurated Muhammadu Buhari administration mooted the idea again to boost local production through faster and cheaper access to Chinese technology, including machinery. 2 years into the widely publicized agreement, Nigeria still rely on cheaper Chinese goods as local manufacturing has yet to kick in. It is a mere trifle, Dr. Bongo Adi, who runs a faculty at the Lagos Business School, told The Guardian in a telephone conversation on the currency swap agreement. One is hard-pressed to see how it significantly leverages our exchange rates. Some importers have also complained about the difficulty in assessing it, Dr. Adi remarked. He argued that Chinese import was roughly between 15 and 20% of Nigeria's foreign demand, whereas Nigeria-China trade reached about 2 trillion in the first half of 2019, and the swap deals amounts to 720 billion naira. What this implies is that though the deal takes some pressure off the forex market, it is just 36% of China's trade. Nigeria's total trade in the corresponding period is almost 10 trillion naira. So the pressure off the forex demand is just a paltry 7%. This does not amount to so much in general scheme of things, but given where we are, any little reprieve is good. So the fanfare that accompanied
little reprieve is good.
Well, we got small reprieve. We might as well just make a mountain out of it. He says here that the Nigeria-China trade imbalance widens. China, of course, seems to be the one who has enjoyed more of this because her exports are the ones who are coming into Nigeria more. Yeah. Our exports to China are little. So when we have to check on what the currency swap offers both parties, China leverages more on that and enjoys almost 36% when you're looking at the entire output, while Nigeria just enjoys about 7%. Of course, due to no fault of China. It is just because we don't have more to export to China. There's nothing else to give China other than the things we've already mentioned earlier: charcoal, rubber, polymer, and some of these raw products. And also we read that the raw products end up in China into finished goods that we also import. So it's like a circle where China ultimately benefits the most.
Well, certainly I'm not an expert economist. But what I understand in the whole thing is that, you see, we lack productivity. And so we don't have much goods or many goods to send to China. And China, incidentally, is sending higher. And so we'll benefit more. That is it. You see, nobody is placing a barrier between us now. If the federal authorities will look at what we are producing and make sure that there are ways to, in fact, shore up our productive base so that we'll be able to sell. Because when you keep on buying from others, your currency certainly will not have value that is needed. And that's exactly what is happening to us. But I also understand very well that these agreements we sign with foreign nations to help us, let us be signing them with our eyes, as they will say, shining eyes, so that in the end, the nation we sign this agreement invariably will not be the one benefiting, and we keep on falling inside the hole, because that's the way it looks now. For instance, even in all these borrowings and all that, when we continue, there's a way it will reach. The agreement speaks for itself. They didn't force us. And then you would have sold yourself to the foreign nation. So I think government will be very careful. But whatever be the case, it's government that runs the businesses of its citizens.
All right, got your thoughts there. Let me get to Precious UDK.
The fanfare and excitement that greeted the signing of that bilateral deal indeed did not ended up materializing into nothing. I recall one pro Muhammadu Buhari administration colleague calling to tell me, oh boy, with this deal now, even dollar will fall, this, that, he said. And I gave in and I said, okay, let's give it a try and see how it turns out. But unfortunately, the truth is, you don't expect to bargain with a country like China, that even the US is weary of, without them ripping you off. It's international trade politics. They want to better their own economy. And as much as I know, Nigeria does not have the requisite bargaining power to muscle with them. And the most unfortunate part of it being that the little we can export, being the enumerated raw materials, when we send it out to them, they turn these raw materials into finished goods and we now buy back.
Yep.
So the whole essence is, as soon as we sell our raw materials for 10 naira to them, by the time they turn it into finished goods, we now buy back 20 naira. So who's gaining after all? The statistics is just what it is and what it should be. Nigeria cannot benefit beyond what it puts into it. What we need to do, if you ask me, is we need to grow our local industries. We should be exporting finished goods. Even in the petroleum industry, it's the same.
Yeah.
So until we've grown to the age where we refine these raw materials and export as finished goods, we definitely cannot have equal bargaining power with this international community. Thank you.
All right, these are the stories and these are the issues. Nigeria-China trade imbalance widens despite currency swap. That's from the Guardian newspaper. And also from the Guardian newspaper, we have here, education. When will public varsities embrace e-education? Let's just quickly get to, it pretty much tells it all. When, Emmanuel?
Only whenever it is possible. Exactly.
And it doesn't seem it's going to be possible in a long time. But, I look at other countries, and when I say other countries, I'm looking at even African countries where they have been able to progress along the lines of e-learning.
Leadership.
I was reading about what some East African country was doing, where they're able to distribute certain materials to far-flung outreaches, like villages that are really far. And so these kids who can walk for a distance to get to where they have schools, they currently supply materials and they allow them connect via television, and then they can teach them from these remote areas. And as they go through and they're able to graduate, the government now takes them to a proper learning center. But they are still abreast with what the curriculum is. They're working alongside the rest of their age peers across the country. So for the government, what they said, that they didn't want to leave any child behind.
That's why I said leadership. Even if I had not heard this,
we don't want to leave any child behind. So they're saying, look, we will come all the way to where you are. Even if there are just 5 of you in this village that we can assess, we will assess those 5. And this is what we're doing. And I'm thinking, it like you said, Emmanuel, is leadership. At what point do you realize how important it is to embrace all forms of learning so that everybody else can key into it? Because we see how e-learning has allowed climes and other pupils in other climes to continue their learnings even when we had this pandemic.
Thank you very much, Annie. You see, you remember vividly at the time this scourge of COVID came in, we started talking about this e-learning.
Yes.
And authorities in education in this our country variously came out and said, we lack the capacity. How can we do that? It's a desire, very effective one, that could even swallow anybody. But then, the capacity is lacking. Now, the leadership you are talking about in those countries, perhaps the Eastern African countries, have come out and said, now, the necessity is that our education must rise. And that's why they now trail everybody. They don't want to miss anybody. As a matter of fact, in effect, in this country, we are even very happy, I'm talking about the leadership, to leave out many. How do we know that? What is our budget for education in the first place? Education, that is, of course, the bedrock of development. You now see them give maybe 4%, 6%, and all that. According to those who follow the budget, either they say 10% have been the highest or so. Now, you are hearing that the people responsible for certain educational activities said 26%. And your government will be happy finally to allot 4%, 6%, 10%. Are you ready at least to drive education forward or to kill it? Because more or less it's killing. When you now stagger the amount you've allocated to education through all the institutions, you find out that they have big people that come out from or graduate from these schools are just what you have created. And you have no excuse to regular. Why would they not do it? Your children are not here. So if you miss 100 million or so, it doesn't matter because your kids must get the best education. But one thing they forget is that when they get the best education there, they come back to this climb that lack everything. Where will they walk?
All right, Emmanuel. Precious UTK.
You see, there are different limbs to this discourse. E-learning, as good as it is, I should share in the sentiment that Nigeria is not requisitely prepared to go into it. Now, let's take for instance in the rural areas. How many children in these rural areas can dress up on their own, get ready to learn via internet without any form of pressure put on them? Here, if it's in the city, we can say, okay, the awareness has gone to the extent that a child can go into the study room, get prepared to learn without any form of pressure from the parents or guidance, or as the case may be. But in the rural areas, what do they prioritize first? Is it education? Most times, if the teacher, I recall those days, if your teacher if you don't go to school today and doesn't go to school tomorrow, and your teacher, yes, if your teacher does not come to your parents to say, why have I not been seeing him or her in the class, the child may end up not going to school ever again. And then all of a sudden you say a child can now be learning from the comfort of his home. Is the willingness there in the first place? That is on the one side. On the other side, do we have, when we say internet, access to internet, and then those of us who are privileged to be in the city or have access to internet would want to generalize. When you go to these rural areas and villages, how many of them have access to internet?
But that's why I just told you, the ones where they didn't have access to internet, they found another means to access, to get these education materials to them. There has to be a vested interest of government.
Simple.
That's just it.
That's
if not, we'll keep looking for excuses and never do this. If you have that single theory where you said not one child will be left behind once it comes to education, because you know the great damage it does to that child who is left behind when everybody else is educated but they're lacking. You know what that would mean in the future for you. You will do everything to make sure that they get the kind of education that everybody else is getting. Maybe others might get slightly better, but you make sure at least the basics are available for that child.
Exactly. Okay, that will quickly now take me to the last limb of this discourse, being that there is a particular situation recently that happened Someone I know very well wanted to do a defense in the Rivers State University. The person had already got said. Everybody, they say, a particular person, a Supremo is finding difficulties logging in. After about 2 hours, they sent a test, come down immediately and do your defense in person. And then the person was like, what if I had traveled out of the state with the mindset that the school had already communicated me that I was going to do my defense via the internet, and all of a sudden I would have missed out on this defense today? So first, like I did note from inception that we do not have the necessary infrastructure. We do not have the equipment. We do not have what it takes, the environment it takes to kickstart the e-learning thing.
All right.
This thing happened within the city here. How much more in the rural areas? But then I give it back to what Ogema said. It has to do it's got a whole lot to do with leadership.
Well, leadership indeed.
If we have a leadership that is indeed willing and ready, I don't think it takes a fortune. But even though it does take a fortune, why not invest in it and have it done so that indeed every child and everybody will have access to internet, we have access to education via the internet.
All right, that we got your thoughts on that. Let's see if we can. I've got Ifya Haga is a political analyst and adolescent and adult literacy volunteer. I mean, you're an adult and adolescent literacy volunteer. We're talking about e-learning here. And the writer was looking at when will Nigeria embrace e-learning?
I think good morning, Nigerians, and good morning to Rivers and everybody
Good
in the
morning.
house. Yeah, I think situation will warrant certain things, to be vetted. If we have been living a certain lifestyle, then there is a kind of a situation. It is expected that we try to make certain adjustments to meet up the needs at that moment. I think this COVID-19 has come to expose us and also to ensure that the political system and everything that has to do with us has to be reawakening, for us to do those things that we have been running away from. Access to internet was supposed to be available to all Nigeria for a long time ago. I remember when I was one of the Africa, countries around here, I discovered that internet that we are so cherished here, is very rampant. It's a very common thing. The government ensured that people have access to internet in a country that is not even up to Nigeria. So how much more in Nigeria that have the resources? We have the capacity to ensure that this thing is done, but the will.
But we have the population too. Check that.
The population compared to the resources, I think the resources that is available to us can actually do this thing for us. But what has been lacking is the political will to do certain things that we ought to have done long age ago. E-learning is something we should embrace for now, because we cannot just halt education because of COVID-19. Other countries are finding a means to ensure that their people are educated. Why will Nigeria be left behind? Let us invest in it and try it. As we continue to try, we will get it perfect one day.
All right then. Keep trying. Do not stop. That's what Ifya Haga says. Then we have here another story that says Reps caucus warns of impending killings in Kaduna, offers solution. Reps caucus warns of impending killings in Kaduna, offers solution. And that story is taken from the Guardian newspaper. I'm trying to see if I would take that before this other story, judging the time that we have left. Let me take this other here first. Repentant Boko Haram member kills father in Borno, reveals Ndume. And this is because Ndume is also saying that repentant Boko Haram will do more harm than good. This is the same sentiment some other victims are also voicing from within that region, saying repentant Boko Haram will do more harm than good. Senator Ndume and repentance. All right, Emmanuel, let me just get an overview of what you think on that. Then I'll see if we can read
I think
story.
Ndume and others that are sharing
Repentance.
that sentiment are on point. Because, if a snake comes in the open, it has no activity. It will be running. But once it hides somewhere, that's where it will do devious activity. Now, this person is known to be a Boko Haram member. And eventually, because of the radicalization or whatever, he agrees in I'm repentant, the
I will see no more.
Good. They brought him. He mingles with the people. That's the cover for the snake. He can now come out in his true elements to show people something, because nobody will be putting an eye on him. Like before that time, anyway, you say, don't kill him because he's a member. He's the one that killing us. But right now, no, he's welcome. He'll be striking undercover. So I think they should be very careful, especially as we're hearing that they are now including them in the military and all the rest of them. That will be very much difficult.
All right, then let me get your thoughts on this here, Precious CDK.
Well, you see, first we must underscore the fact that the Nigerian government has been brought to its knees in this fight against terrorism. The government has failed woefully. The Nigerian government cannot battle them. And the only available option, if there must be peace in Nigeria, will be for us to offer them the stick and the carrot approach. If indeed, law is not just retributive. Law is not just about punishment. Law is also about corrections. That is why today they say prison is not a correctional center. Now, if indeed there are those who have genuinely repented, genuinely underscored repented, and the government wishes to reintegrate them into the society, I give applause to that. But what I worry is the government throwing the carrot first without the stick. And at a time when probably those Boko Haram persons have been boxed into a corner, they cannot wage the war at that material time. They throw the white flag. And then immediately you bring them back, at the slightest provocation opportunity, they go back to what they
know best.
Yeah, what they know best how to do. So it's my worry, but considering the fact that the government has not been able to appropriately match them, if offering them this carrot approach will breed solution to the imbroglio, I should say the government can go on with it. But then the government must be very, 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 very careful. I recall when former President Olusegun Obasanjo was here, and then the Niger Delta boys wanted access to the Nigerian military. And he cautioned, he said it won't take them up to an hour to run down any government if you bring them into, because these are persons who can use sophisticated weapons without any military training or background. And then you bring them into, they will form their own block in the military, and it will be very, very difficult to handle.
It will be deadly.
So the government has to be very careful. It's not just enough to do this thing, but government should go back to re-examine it and be definitely sure that it will occur well. It will bring a solution to the problem we're already facing, and not create further problems to the security architecture of the country. This is what
Ndume is saying. The repentant Boko Haram insurgents reintegrated with their communities are likely going to do so with more harm than good, says Senator Ali Ndume, who hails from Borno. This is just as he disclosed that a repentant Boko Haram member who recently integrated with his community has killed his father, stole his wealth, and disappeared. Speaking in a BBC Hausa program monitored in Kaduna yesterday, Senator Ndume, who represented Borno South in the Nigerian Senate, queried government's rationale in spending huge sum of money to reform the insurgents, alleging that many of the repentant Boko Haram members had gone back to their former base. They are like Karajites. Many among those released have since run away. They will never repent. The government should know what to do about them, but not reintroducing someone to you who has killed your parent or your relations.
Yes, I think sometimes some of our leaders think that Nigerians are actually suffering from political amnesia, and therefore we don't remember the events. Ali Udume, kudos to him, he has spoken out. It's good to speak, but the point now, he was a governor of that state. And we know several allegations that were linked to him for sponsoring some of these insurgents that we are seeing in Borno State. What did he do? He ran out of the country then to Niger State and Republic of Niger. Then later on, he was brought back. Now he's screaming. instead of helping government to reveal things that he knows and those things that he was accused of being party
now
to.
that he has revealed this one, what's wrong with this
No,
revelation?
I'm coming.
No, hold on.
He's saying
You said
that
instead of
those
him
who
to
are
reveal. Hold on, I'm taking it by one word. You said not everything else. You said instead of him to reveal. And I'm saying, but what he just did is a revelation.
He's complaining.
No, he's revealing. He
That
says, look,
Boko Haram-
he said, yes. He says most of them
Yes.
have ran back.
To-
You've released them and they've ran back to their former bases.
Yes.
That's what he's saying. So he's saying that it's not working. So you're spending so much money to rehabilitate them. They're not rehabilitated. They're running back as soon as you release them.
What is making them to run back?
What is not? This is a life they're used to.
A life they are used to.
Yes.
Sponsor. Supposedly, some people sponsor them into that lifestyle.
Maybe not.
That is why I use the
That's
word
what I said.
supposedly.
So,
some people
as it is,
sponsor
and that's
them.
I'm also adding
Brainwash
maybe
them.
not. So already your de-radicalization did not work. They are still radicalized.
I think people like Ali Dume should at least help the security situation rather than just complaining and complaining. That is what I will tell him.
All right, we got your thoughts on that. Let me see if we can throw in one more story here before we move on.
It's like he doesn't like him.
No, he doesn't like Ali.
No, I like it. No, sometimes when some of these people have perpetrated a lot of atrocity against the state, then we be the one to shout.
What has Ali Dume done? How has he perpetrated atrocity against the state?
He was governor of Borno State.
Yeah.
Poverty is one of the reasons these people went back into whatever they are doing right now. The resources they were made for the state, assuming they were prudently utilized for the people of Borno State. I don't think Boko Haram also, if infiltrator will come to brainwash them and use them as tools as they're using them today.
There's truth to what you said, though. INEC has power to deregister parties. Appeal court rules. The Court of Appeal in Abuja yesterday affirmed the powers of the Independent National Electoral Commission to deregister political parties. The appellate court in its judgment upheld the decision of the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja, which held the NUP and 74 other political parties remain deregistered. Justice Mohammed Buba Idris ruled that INEC did not err in law to have deregistered the political parties. Justice Taiwo of the Federal High Court had in May ruled that INEC acted in accordance with Section 225A of the 1999 Constitution. So the deregistered parties went to appeal court. The appeal court has still upheld that INEC is right and has the powers to deregister political parties.
One limb remains. The Supreme Court, let them go. And see if you support or otherwise.
Real quickly though, before you move forward, I'm just saying something here. C.A.J. Chinwo says Ndume was never governor, and he says he's not Modu Sharif. Ali Modu Sharif is different. Yes, Ndume.
Ali Modu Sharif, yes.
Well, that's a good one.
Yeah.
It was Modu Sharif.
It was Modu Sharif, not Ndume.
The truth is that the appeal court has given a nod to the activities of along the line of deregistering parties. So let us see, like I said, those people go to Supreme Court if they do not accept the ruling of the appeal court. That's the only thing, because INEC has done what it feels that the laws of the land allows it to do. But the people are saying, no, you don't have such power. Now, appeal court said, no, you do have the power. Let us see whether the Supreme Court will say you don't have it.
All right, gentlemen, we'll continue with this conversation when we return. We'll take a quick break. Now, at the top of the hour, we'll be back for the news update.
It's Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt, voice of the people. Radio has never been this good. Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
It's 55 minutes after 8. You're listening to Today 95.1 FM. I've got Diane and Amarachi or Amara. Which one?
Amara.
It's Amara now. Okay, good. That's how we're going. Amara and Diane, good to have you both here from Odipola Properties. So last time you were here, you said we only have this month for a particular property.
Yes.
And I want us to quickly talk about that. So we have just, 2 days, today and tomorrow, for people who are interested in that particular property. And you said it's selling like hotcake. And if you miss out, you miss out big. So let's get to that property real quick. Tell us a bit about that. Let me start with Tamara.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Good morning. This is Amara. Then Odipola Properties, everything all about real estate investment. Just like Miss Anna pronounced, the home view layout is actually on promo price for 1.7 million naira, and we'll be announcing for over 2 months. During the pandemic, that's when we started selling that particular layout. So it's fast selling. We just set aside few plots of land that will be selling for 1.7, and we've exhausted that particular amount. So right now from August, we'll be hitting up to 2.2 million naira. Is a whole lot of 500,000 naira added to it. Something you can use to acquire additional plots. So why not you hurry and still come up to inspect this property? You can still meet up because we have today and tomorrow, because it's open for inspection. It's an open place. It has access road. It's something you can come and see yourself. It's already developed. It's in a developing area rather already. So you can still call my number in case of those that want to just hit and call to know more information. You can call me on 081 3348 7968.
Or you can call Dinah on 0704 237 7837.
All right. So Dinah, tell us why you think we should buy properties from Otibola.
Like I've always been saying it. Like number one, normally as an individual going to buy from individuals or from families, there are some certain things they don't even know about the land. Like taking an instance of charting, when you acquire properties and people don't know that they have to chart their layout to see if it's in line with government standard in that particular area. So if you want to go buy about 50 plus from individuals, they can just show you from part A to part B is yours, is my own, I've been farming from there. And when you go for charting, you realize that some places are major roads that are going to be used in future. So if you don't know all that, you'll be at loss. At the long run, when you build for government, after some years they can't demolish your place because they want to expand the road or visualize the road, or maybe use it for waste management or whatever it is they want to use it for in future. But real estate developers, I will speak for developer properties because we've been in business for over 5 years rather, yeah. And we've always conducted our due diligence. Of course, like our boss always said, there's no place that there's not an issue, but the ability to be dogged about it, to stand firm and to do the right things. That is what the developer property stand for. Before we come out to even sell out any property, we've conducted our due diligence. We do charting, we go for registration, approval, every document necessary for us to give you the clients. We make sure that we do.
So you're not just rushing into sell land.
The acquisition process is the major process for us.
So that's why you're the go-to property dealer.
Exactly.
Here. All right, then.
Exactly.
So tell us about other properties aside from the one that is going to go for 2.2 by August.
Okay, we have our Freedom Layout going for 550,000 naira off Iguitali School Road. That place is also a very good place. Like Amawori shout, investors delight. Is where you can buy at least 5 plots, any amount you get to fence it and leave it and go sleep. And after some time, you obviously see that your 550 is giving you millions. Yeah. Just like even these millions we are selling today, at some point they sell thousands of naira. So that is the investor's eye, the eagle eye, using to see the future, and that's going for 550,000 naira right now. And obviously, you don't feel like it's waterlogged or whatever it is. Odibola Properties will not buy any property that cannot even give the company profit returns. Okay. We always want to acquire where we are going to sell for people because we're also profit-oriented company. So that place we are going to also have our plots for our own personal interest as the company wishes to use it for. So the place is a very stable ground. Access road is already there. So it's 550,000 naira off Iguitali School Road.
All right. Then for people who need to contact you, there are people who are listening and saying, you know what, I want to do this today. Because last time you were here, you mentioned the fact that, look, people are buying.
They're buying. They don't announce.
Somebody is heading to a bank now to make withdrawals or payments for a particular property. So you don't want to be left behind. So for those who are interested and need to reach out to you now, how can they do so?
Okay, you can call Dinah on 0704 237 7837. 0704 237 7837.
Or you call Amara on 081 3348 7968. 081 3348 7968.
So tell us where is the office, because I know some people are really interested. Okay. I want to walk into the office.
Yes.
Let me use my eyes to scan. Some people need that extra. So how can I get to your office if I need to?
Okay, our office is located at Tombia Extension off Inserim Layout, just after Mandela Car Wash or before Liverpool Hotel. If you're coming from Ikwe Road, then from GRA it's after Mandela Car Wash.
Fantastic. So let's share your numbers one more time real quickly.
Okay, you can call Dinah on 0704 237 7837.
or you call me on 081-3348-7968. Everything about real estate.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for having for coming on the show, girl.
Thank you very much.
And stay on the dial. News update is right up.
Every hour, when the big stories break, depend on our 24-hour news team to bring you the latest. Today, 95.1 FM.
Today, 95.1 FM. Port Harcourt. News update.
Hello and good morning. Here's the news update on Today 95.1 FM. I am Annie Abdul Salam. Justice Adolphus Enebeli has adjourned till 14th of August 2020 for adoption of final routine addresses in a murder case involving suspected serial killer Gracious David West. When the matter came up for final adoption of routine addresses, counsel to first and second defendants informed the court that the prosecution counsel was yet to serve him his address. Justice Enebeli, before adjourning to the 14th day of August 2020 for adoption of final routine addresses, ordered officials of Nigerian Correctional Service to avoid assaults on inmates following a complaint from counsel to David West over alleged maltreatment. Ondo State Governor Rotimi Akeredolu has unveiled a former commissioner in the Niger Delta Development Commission, Lucky Aidetatiwa, as his running mate for the October 10 governorship poll. Akeredolu, who spoke at the swearing-in of new aides, said Aidetiwa possessed verifiable credentials. The governor said the decision to pick Aidetiwa was taken after wide consultations with party leaders. Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari will again not be receiving Salah homages from religious, community, party, and government leaders in order to stop the spread of the COVID-19 infectious disease. Presidential spokesman Garba Shehu confirmed this in a statement issued to the media. Shehu said President Buhari will observe the Eid al-Kabir prayers with his family at home, just as he did during the Eid al-Fitr, in line with advisories from the Nigerian Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs and the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19. The president, who wished all Muslims a safe and happy Eid, renewed the protocols as issued by the PTF that large gatherings, as much as possible, shouldn't be discouraged. Nigeria has recorded 404 new cases of the novel coronavirus, bringing its total infections to 42,208. This is according to the Nigerian Center for Disease Control, NCDC. NCDC, in its latest update, noted that 8 more persons have died from the virus as recovery numbers hit 19,000. Lagos, Nigeria's COVID-19 epicenter, reported 106 new cases, while the FCT reported 44. Other states with new cases include Rivers 48, Plateau 40, Edo 20, Edo 29, Enugu 20, Oyo 20, Kano 18, amongst others. And on to the foreign scene, Zambian President Edgar Lungu has fired his education minister, David Mabumba, after nude video clips of him went viral on social media. A statement from the presidency did not give reasons for his removal, but it came after explicit video clips of the minister were leaked on Twitter, Facebook, and shared via WhatsApp. The statement only said President Lungu had terminated the appointment of Minister of General Education with immediate effect. 49-year-old David Mabumba was appointed to the cabinet in 2016. And that was the news update on Today 95.1 FM. Do not forget, take responsibility. Wash your hands frequently with soap and running water. Avoid touching your face in high contact surfaces to prevent the spread of coronavirus. Do have a good morning.
This is Today 95.1 FM. Port Harcourt, voice of the people. Port Harcourt, are you ready? Today 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
Talk radio.
I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM.
Oga James, which one way your face be like say they slap you?
My sister, now money wahala.
You never hear of Pinnacle Derivative Trading and Investment?
Which one be that?
Now the ogbonge business where you go invest plenty money, they will help you pay school fees and even house rent.
No be Ponzi be that.
No, this one are the ogbonge trading company where them approve and then get professional people for their financial market. Then they pay reach 15% per month for 6 months. You fit even do another 6 months.
This one good though, but my sister I been talk of school fees and rent.
No, sir, that one they sweet you. Make I tell you, if you invest with them, then go help you pay rent for 3 years. fees. If you invest your pikin school fees, they go help you pay your pikin school fees for 6 years.
Now, wow, then too much.
See, me, I dey go increase my investment plus even do another one for that car I tell you.
How I go take reach them?
Their head office dey 55 Warfare Road, opposite First Bank, Port Harcourt. You fit call them on 080-6632-6071 or 080-6751-8309 or log into www.ptdandinvestment.com.
Ninja Noodles Ultimate Search 2020 Battle of the Ports. The hit is on in search for the Noodles Ultimate Search winner. To participate,
pick up your film at Today FM Drive off East West Road before UPTH Port Harcourt, Rivers State.
Or log on to www.noodlescookingquest.com and send a text with your full name, age, location, and a 3-minute video of yourself while cooking Indomie noodles via WhatsApp to
081-8389-2850 081-8389-2850
and stand a chance to win fantastic prizes. Online auditions will hold in Oyo, Lagos, Ogun, Ekiti, Ondo, Delta, Abuja, Cross River, Edo, Uyo, Anambra, Kaduna, Katsina, Kwara, Rivers, Enugu, Imo, Osun, and Benue State. Audition entry starts on the 2nd of July to the 1st of September 2020.
For more information, please call 081-8389-2850.
Get up! Pick up your pots and spoons. Let's get cooking! Proudly sponsored by Indomie Noodles, official media partner.
Today 95.1 FM.
To today's quest. All the news and information you need in one go. Get started with the best of sports, lifestyle, analysis, and Annie.
Can you feel it? Can you feel it?
Can you feel it? Wake up to today's quest with Annie on Today 95.1 FM from 6 to 11 a.m. weekdays. Fantastic.
Opinion poll on today's quest.
More than 3 over 4 of the loots we are talking about in this country today were loots within the 16 years.
Here is a great opportunity to sample all our opinions on the issues raised.
Amin Patakat says the PDP is trying to divert our attention because Nigerian funds was looted by the PDP. Melody in Uniport says Madam Jonah is yet to come in terms of the fact that her tenure has expired. Annie, please tell him that investigation is not what you make public until the final stage.
Send your opinion to us on Facebook, www.facebook.com/Today 95.1 FM, or on Twitter @TodayFM951. You can also sample your opinions with us on WhatsApp or on our SMS portal using the numbers 070-1933-9962. Exactly 10 minutes after 9, and you're listening to Today 95.1 FM, Voice of the People. We're moving in directly to opinion poll right now. For opinion poll, repentant Boko Haram will do more harm than good, says Senator Ndume and other victims. The repentant Boko Haram insurgents reintegrated with their communities are likely going to do so with more harm than good, says Senator Alan Dume, who hails from Borno State. This is just as he disclosed that a repentant Boko Haram member who recently integrated with his community has killed his father, stole his wealth, and disappeared. Speaking in our BBC Household program monitored in Kaduna yesterday, Senator Ndume, who represented Borno South in the Nigerian Senate, queried government's rationale in spending huge sums of money to reform the insurgents, alleging that many of the repentant Boko Haram members had since gone back to their former base. They are like Karajites. Many among these released have since run away. They will never repent. The government should know what to do about them, but not reintroducing someone to you who has killed your parent or your relations. Haba, not that he even apologized to you. He apologized to the government. His thinking was that government has failed and that is why they're being pampered. This government's program is unacceptable to our people. The right thing is to stop it forthright. If there is sincerity of purpose in this, those in the IDP camps should be trained in various trades and vocation so that they could start life again, he said. The BBC also featured a widow who condemned the program because Boko Haram insurgents killed her husband. This thing is hurting. They killed my husband in my presence. They killed my son. I am left with 4 young orphans. Till death, I will never forget that day. I'm left with orphans with no help or assistance. See how harsh life is today. Someday we eat, another day we stay hungry. That is how we're suffering with the children. Look at the kind of care given to Boko Haram members. We that have suffered for 6 years now, we have not been taken care of. But the repentant Boko Haram, truly government has not done justice here, she said. Asked on how she was coping with life, the woman said all her remaining children were out of school. I'm always washing. I do menial jobs to get 500 naira and take care of the children. A male victim also told the BBC that Boko Haram insurgents killed their relations and chased them out of their home. They killed 4 of my close relations. In what capacity are we going to stay with them again? Do we see them as human beings or animals? She asked. Or do they want us to meet them and take revenge? There will be a serious problem, he warned. They should go to Goza and Bama. Many of the repentant insurgents have rejoined the insurgency. There's nothing you can do to change Boko Haram, he said. So there has been an argument back and forth on the issue of rehabilitating and de-radicalizing this former terrorist. Former because, of course, they claim that they have, renounced that position as a terrorist and that they have now seen the light. So government says, well, we have this window, an opportunity for those of you who truly feel that that is not the life you want anymore, and for some reasons you derailed, we'll have this window of opportunity for you to embrace, where we will go through a series of de-radicalization tests or programmings. I don't know exactly what they do. And then we'll rehabilitate you and teach you how to live with communities again. And upon your graduation or upon our satisfaction that you have merited it, we release you back to the community. This approach I have seen in some other climes, but there are very few people who go through that process. Very few. I mean, I see the huge numbers that we've poured out through that platform. And I see in other cases, in some cases, it's just 5 people, 3 people. We're looking at hundreds who are released through that platform here in Nigeria. And I can imagine how difficult it is to keep a constant tab on them. Because even in the climes where I have seen de-radicalized terrorists who have gone through some de-radicalization program and rehabilitation whatsoever, and this usually takes years, once they're released, they do have an officer attached to them. So there is a regular check-in. You're having, proper documentations going on. You have evaluations constantly going, and then it happens in phases of years. So after the next 5 years, maybe you drop this particular psychologist that you've been seeing, and then we engage you with someone else on a different program. We're talking to your employers. We're looking at your family. We're checking where you're going to. We're keeping a tab on your calls. And then that proceeds to another 10 years. And then we drop certain things. But there's always a constant eye of government on you because they understand that de-radicalization doesn't mean you won't slip again. De-radicalization doesn't mean that you won't just get back to where you were picked up from. But here in Nigeria, this is where I've always had the problem with our de-radicalization program. We have too many people, too little people to monitor them. And I don't even think there's any monitoring team in place, or if they're doing the necessary job they're supposed to do to ensure that the numbers being poured out are actually contained and an eye is kept on them to ensure that they don't fall off the bandwagon. That's not happening. If not, Ondume and others will not be telling us of going to Bama and checking out all the insurgents who have been rehabilitated, who have been sent back there. And we're going to find them right back in the camp that they left. So something obviously is wrong. And it doesn't seem at this point for me that the federal government understands what next to do. You have so many Boko Haram members who you have caught who said, look, we forfeit Boko Haram. So what do you do now? Do you keep them locked up forever, or you find a way forward? Because I think this is the dilemma for federal government. So Emmanuel Integrate, I'll start with you.
Yeah, I certainly don't think that the best way will be to have them locked up forever. No, because...
we don't have that kind of facility.
No, we don't. And again, even if we do, they don't deserve such. If truly they showed sign, and here I'm just saying, showing signs of repentance, no matter the circumstance. I think government, yes, should proceed with their de-radicalization process, agreed. But to have them back, for instance, in terms of reintegration, and then you allow them to go into the fort of the nation, the military, for instance, I don't think is right thinking at all. It's not. Because the danger still lurk around them, even with the signs of repentance and de-radicalization. Like they are saying in Burma, which is, of course, the physical evidence, they couldn't have been talking about that if they had not had at least 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 persons that were de-radicalized and that have gone back into the mainstream of Boko Haram. Now, I think government should fashion out perhaps a kind of job that these people should be engaged in, away from that particular area and all that. Now, engage them in that kind of job. They will be there. Just as we went out, Dr. Rainema also reminded me that there are certain treaties that, of course, Nigeria could be signatory to. And such treaties do not allow even killing somebody that has shown signs of repentance in warfare. And that is true. I know about it, but it escaped my memory. But I am saying, this Boko Haram issue is peculiar. Very peculiar. Why? It is something that renegades, for whatever grounds they have in a country, just rise up to say, no, we are going to fight against the maybe English or whatever use we are doing, the system of the Englishman. I don't know. Even the IET and all that they are doing, they are using in warfare, belongs to these particular English people. You don't need the tail, but you need the head. Now, what I am thinking is, like I made an analogy between a snake that runs in an open space. What it will be doing is to run around looking for cover, because it knows it can spring surprises in that cover. Now, if you say these people are repentant, and you've done all your systems of de-radicalization, you now bring them in and reintegrate them into the society. Yes, everybody cannot be of the same frame of mind. There are those that will certainly become who they should be, good citizens. But some of them would indeed become worse in such situations, only striking undercover. And at that time, you will never, it's just like if I go, if I now went to Emmy's house, Emmy welcomes me very well, he knows me and all that. He will never think that I will be there doing something bad. He leaves his house and all that for me, and I'll plan certain things. Such is just the way. And I think that's what is making Dume to say, don't reintegrate these people. And for that one that killed his father, I think for me, it's not a yardstick. Because a bad man remains bad, no matter how you de-radicalize him or how you radicalize him, whichever thing you like to do. He will just show you a facet of, yes, I am good enough. Please, show me mercy. You show him mercy, he will strike you. So that man that kills his father, whether he's Boko Haram or whatever, he is already a bad human, because even if you are unleashing such mayhem, it won't be your own father. What we observe is that people leave their own relatives to strike others. But this one killed his father is not a yardstick, so leave him, his own is with him. But I'm talking about generally. If government should, for instance, there's an established farm or established whatever, and then you say, okay, these people finally, we've reached the zenith of this de-radicalization. We take you people, you are going to work for government at this particular center, not even in the northeast. They may be there, and if anybody remember that the management of that facility would be looking at them, monitoring, 24/7 monitoring. But if you de-radicalize them, bring them into Borno State or any of the Northeast area to live into the society, nobody monitors them. What happens? And that is why they keep on doing. What if there's any fight, assuming you now enroll them into the army, you enlist them. Now, they lead people, or, like I said, they have the fingerprints of Boko Haram commanders, their phone numbers and all the rest of them. They have them. They call these people, we are coming to fight you people on this way. They lay siege. The military moves in, and then all you have is everywhere is burnt. Now, what is the essence of that de-radicalization? What is the essence of the reintegration? So for me, it is something that government has to be very careful. Yes, it is good always because they will always be repentant. But that repentance, make sure is a genuine one. And because you are a human, you can never ascertain the genuineness of that repentance. Take them away from that bit where they have specialized themselves and to another side, and then monitor them carefully.
All right, Emmanuel, what are your thoughts? Precious UDK.
This issue is very delicate. I think it is in Josiah against State, where the Supreme Court of Nigeria said justice is not a one-way traffic. When you talk about justice, and then you talk about justice for the state, you talk about justice for the deceased, the victim of that particular crime. If it is a murder, you talk justice for the deceased whose blood and soul may be crying for vengeance in the world unknown. And then you talk about justice for the accused person who must be tried within the due process of the law. The Nigerian government seems to be setting a very, very bad example, because with the plight of the widowed woman there, my heart bleeds. Imagine that a known young man with arms went to the woman's house, hacked life out of the husband, subjected her to this kind of misery reported here, and then all of a sudden, the man is reintegrated into the society, given affluence or whatever, and the widow is still suffering. Can we, with every sense of responsibility, say that justice has been met in the three ways established in Josiah against State by the Supreme Court of Nigeria? That justice has not been done. Because you don't just talk about justice for the state and state alone. What about those that are at the receiving end of this Boko Haram menace? Why will government abandon them and begin to give good life to those who perpetrated the mayhem in the first place? That is to that extent. Now, I had the privilege, to the glory of God, to do my postgraduate studies in international criminal law. And I stated, I know that listeners are listening to me, I stated beyond or without any fear of contradictions that Nigeria has not entered any kind of international treaty barring the country from prosecuting those who have committed terrorist activities, who are found wanting in the laws of Nigeria. More so when they are Nigerians. If I am minded to even consider the argument that somebody who surrenders should be freed, somebody who surrenders should not be prosecuted, then I would also want to just oppose same with the man who goes to rob a bank, police surrenders the bank, and you drop your arms and come out, I have surrendered.
And that's it.
And that's it. It doesn't go, it doesn't flow that way. What I'm saying is that whoever, we have our terrorist act, we have our different laws prohibiting terrorism and like
various crimes.
If anybody is caught, the person should be prosecuted. If the person, I think it's which African country that even executed those caught in terrorist activities. If the person is found wanting, the person will be subjected to whatever punishment pronounced by the court that tried. If the court says execute, let the person be executed. If the court says life imprisonment, let the person be. So what do we say that we now arrest Boko Haram people, we keep them in special place without sending them to the prisons, without making them face the law?
We are rehabilitating them.
We are rehabilitating them. That it doesn't make any meaning. And then it is sending the very wrong signal to the society, to the younger population, that when you carry arms against the state, that is when the state will recognize you. We must learn how to discipline those who have decided to constitute themselves against the security architecture of Nigeria. So I don't and I will not buy into the argument that Nigeria is bad. Nigeria is a sovereign state. In the First and Second World War, the Allied forces prosecuted those Nazi forces that perpetrated war crimes. I know that the only time when if it has to do with war crimes where people are, you must avoid collateral damages, and then you don't use a sledgehammer to kill an ant. So whatever arms you're using must be proportionate to what the enemy is coming with. But to tell me that we cannot prosecute Boko Haram people, I don't buy to that.
All right, then.
Now, the truth is, reintegrating the Boko Haram people, I had noted earlier that for me, and I still maintain that assertion earlier made, that Nigeria has been brought to its knees in the battle against terrorism. Today, we have chased them out of a particular place. The next 2 seconds, they come and they hit. If the stick and carrot approach is what it will take to bring peace to Nigeria, if reintegrating Boko Haram people will be what it will take to bring peace to Nigeria, if de-radicalizing them will be what it will take to bring peace to Nigeria, then I give my support to that. But then, we must take it like the pinch of the sword. We must be very, very careful in doing so. And we must also go a step further by looking out for the families of the victims. Because I did say earlier, justice is never a one-way traffic. It's also not a two-way traffic. It is not just justice for the state. It is also not justice for the accused. Justice for the victim and the victim's family.
Because some of the victims said, so what do we do when we see them? I mean, they didn't apologize to us. They apologized to the government. And then they're back here in our midst, and we have to just embrace them and continue on. But let me get to Emifia Hagan this.
Yes, I think we approach this question, discuss from the point of the form of government that is in place. You know, there are certain discussions or certain positions that we may take. In taking them, if we didn't put it to cognizance, the form of government, it will enable us, to take the matter from the context for which we ought to have viewed it. Currently, we are in a democratic system of government. And in democracy, it's a government that is guided by law. And if you are to look at justice in democracy, it means it is what is written in the law. Anything that is outside of that is when we begin to say this is an injustice and or whatever illegal act. Currently, the Nigerian form of democracy, there is room for prerogative of mercy. It's a power given to the president and order to so declare certain persons or grant mercy to some persons who have committed certain crime against the state. So, if we begin to see that there is a guerrilla warfare and the report says that some persons voluntarily, surrender themselves, that this is what we have been doing, and we tend to change from such a lifestyle because we discovered that was wrong, and we are genuinely surrendering ourselves and to become good citizens again. If these persons are considered, I don't think it's a bad thing. What we are fighting is a guerrilla warfare. And in the principle of warfare, there is also room for negotiations. You discuss where you see that there is room or there is need for it. Boko Haram or whatever they call themselves, they are Nigerians. They've been Nigerians. Before some persons, were able to brainwash them and make them readily tools for them to perpetrate crime against the state. And their citizenship have not been taken away from them. So, for me, if the deradicalization, whatever thing that the government have seen that is needful to bring peace to Borno and every part of Nigeria, and by so doing, after you deradicalize that whatever thing that we're going to do to ensure that they no longer go back to that crime, and we feel that we integrate them into the system again, I think it's not also a bad idea. Where I will be so pained is when we felt that some persons, because they have undergone certain talks, certain processes, and we felt that we will just integrate them into the engine room of our security, which is the army and even the police. I think that is where I will have problem. Because for me, our security agencies and institutions should not be seen as an avenue for creating jobs for people or engaging people to enable them to earn something for themselves. Should not be seen so. Rather, our security agencies and institutions should be a place where people of worthy character, people that when we look at them, we say, yes, these are people of reputable, attitude that we can actually trust at any time, should be the people that we recruit into our security agencies and institutions. Because we are entrusting them with the life of Nigerians. Our property is being, put in their custody. While we are asleep, they are the one that we believe that they are watching over our integrity, watching over our territory, watching over our government and our lives. Then if we begin to hand these things over to people of questionable character, it means we are creating more problem in trying to solve a problem. So integrating them into the military or any security, I don't buy into that. For now, at least let there be a certain level of conviction that yes, we've seen that these people will never, ever go back to crime again. That is when we can trust them with certain responsibility. Right. Then as for those who are crying, it's really painful when we see a situation that there's somebody who killed or a group of people who have alleged to have killed your loved ones. You see them being taken care of, and you, the victim, you are suffering pains and nobody cares about you. It's very, very painful. And that is another thing that the Nigerian government and the federal and the state and local government need to consider. By the time you begin to pamper criminals and you left the ordinary Nigerian to be suffering of various form of wants, it means you are encouraging crime and criminality in the system. Those victims ought to be taken care of. So when they see that indeed the government also cares for them, it will assuage certain pains and mindsets that they would have developed. But in this case, the widow is complaining that Boko Haram or repeated Boko Haram members are being taken care of. They are being provided
and
with
IDPs.
all manner of, wants or whatever thing that they need to make life better. And the IDPs and all that are left uncatered for. I don't think it's the right thing that our government is doing. Also, if we begin to say that maybe the insurgency or what insurgents have overwhelmed our military, our security, I don't think it's right also. Because I understand that in every society, the positions, the objections, the supports, the responses that the citizens put forward goes a long way in encouraging institution of government in doing more. It can also demoralize them when we begin to put assertion forward that they have been overwhelmed. We are in our homes today. We are in the studio talking because we believe that we are protected somehow. We believe that it will be very difficult for these people to walk in here.
Yeah.
Because there are people out there who are ensuring that this area is secured. So if they are overwhelmed, we won't be here.
All right.
Rather, we should encourage them to do more. I think that is the area we should go.
All right, then. I'll pause you there, Precious. Sorry, Emi Hanga. We'll get back to you much later. But let me just introduce Dr. Emmanuel Iroyanema. He's a chartered arbitrator, mediator, and management consultant and socio-economic commentator. Good morning. Good to have you on the show here with us.
Good morning, Annie. Good morning, listeners.
Right. But part of the areas where some of the victims did speak during the interview with BBC Hausa was the fact where they mentioned that it seemed unfair that they rehabilitated Boko Haram were given this great opportunity to explore life in this other new dimension. Meanwhile, you have hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of IDPs who can't seem to get back their lives.
First, I empathize with everybody that has suffered in one way or the other in cause of this insurgency and other militancy activities around the country. It is difficult for everybody, and I'm very sure it is also difficult for even the soldiers out there trying to keep the peace. My biggest problem is reportage in this country. Sometimes, particularly in times of war, people should understand that what they dish out should be such that it's not going to stir up something worse than you already have in your hand in one way or the other. When you create a picture that they are pampering militants and the rest of them, it doesn't really make sense to me. We must be careful what we make the general public believe in these times. Radicalization and reintegration is common conflict management process. My concern, you've mentioned it severally here, is the post-radicalization tab checking or whatever. How do you check that this person that has been radicalized will not get back to it? Do we have the capacity as a country to do proper check? How much records do we really have? We are aware of what happened in the Nigeria Delta. The same persons are into one or two criminal activities. I'm sure we remember the gentleman, they said, the serial killer whose case is still in court. As we talk now, we heard he was at the time a militant. Now, these are kind of things. So how do we really have a real check to finding out that this kind of persons will not go back? That's where the challenge is. I'm not very comfortable in the de-radicalization process, and that I must confess, because something very salient came out there. In proper de-radicalization, opportunities are given for the victims to meet.
Yes.
To get, because it's a society that you broke.
Yes.
You broke a society by your actions. And if you broke a society and you want a proper reintegration, there has to be a license to come back. And the
into
only,
that society.
The only person that can give you true license is the victim. To a large extent, that he gets the true license. Government, as we know, it is vague. It's all of us. But the truth is, certain persons got this direct pain. I could see an Induma and the rest of them that spoke there speaking, I mean, with real pain in them, and it's a given ordinarily. I can't imagine my worst enemy suffering some of the things some persons around those environments had suffered. So government must go back and look at this de-radicalization process. Are we doing it correctly? We didn't do it even here in the. I think we also we lose out from history so fast. When we did it in Nigeria own too, it was just that same way. You need to create that opportunity. Traditionally, we have means of resolving conflict. And one way we do use in resolving conflict is the fact that the parties must meet. You must get that level of forgiveness. It may not be overnight, but I must see you showing, I must accept the level of repentance you're showing to some extent. So government must whoever is managing that entire process must have to go back to the book to say, come, are we really doing this improperly? Were there these confessions directly? Were we able to get support from the victims, as it were? If you are not able to do that and you just get them in, like one of them just said there, are you asking us to go and revenge? Because if you take the power totally from us, that's exactly you'll be telling us. So okay, let's also think of how to. This man is back here. Okay, he did kill my wife, my children, and my parents. So let me also go. So we must not encourage crime in any way. In that an attempt to stopping one, we shouldn't open avenues for the likelihood of creating another one. The press, for me, should be mindful of how she puts out certain information. I think part of the whole greater picture we are seeing is purely a case of poor reportage, if you ask me. Because if there are things you send out there that they brought them and wore them white, which was what we saw. For me, didn't really mean that was. I didn't see any fantastic thing around them. So making it look as if it's perhaps whoever was managing that was trying to show that the man used to be black and now
he's white.
He's white.
Now he's white.
Yeah, now he's white, kind of a thing. But generally speaking, we must be careful on how we do those comparisons and throw it out to the face of particularly the victims, because it's very dangerous. You can't come and tell me that the man who killed my father is the one I am still finding a way to eat, but meanwhile you're decorating him, as it were. I mean, it's not the best thing. We must be very careful. We have a serious crisis in our hand. We must not escalate that crisis.
All right. Well, the angle I want to go to here now is obviously what comes up for me is that government seems to be overwhelmed. We have a war in our hands. We've been fighting for years. We don't seem to be getting a cap on that. And then you have members of this group who are saying, look, we're repentant. And it's a bit difficult too, because you can't get to large swap areas, and you meet people who will say they themselves were victim of Boko Haram. They were forced to join. They didn't genuinely want to do this, and they've been here for 3 years. They've been living here, and that's the only life they know for the past 3 years. So it would be really difficult to just come with the heavy sledgehammer on a certain number of people within this repentant Boko Haram. What does government do really going forward? Do we just keep them isolated from the people? Do we lock them permanently? Or do we just shoot at sight?
There are two angles to living life. And for me, that's the ideal thing and the real thing. Now, the ideal thing ordinary will be that he who kills by sword should die by sword. I mean, that's a straight jacket thing that everybody knows. But like you just mentioned here.
Whether you are forced to or not.
Yes, that's what ordinarily what people want to say. That's ideal. I mean, the man killed, so kill him. But you've said something here. The man could have been forced, conscripted into certain actions, which of course we find every here and there. And for that purpose, you don't need to be. You need to look at the situation, as it were. So come, what do we do now? If the man, and that's why I have the problem. If the man says he has repented, which is normal, if you force me to a corner whether I am actually repented or not, and I think one of the things we found is that the man that fears most is the man who kills. So if you push him to the box, he will raise his hand, of course, and tell you he has repented. That's a very normal thing. But the capacity, whether or not we have the capacity, even after all the reconstructions, the capacity to keep a tab on them. That for me is the way forward. The things we need to look at. To what extent can we keep a tab on them? And look, poverty has created, whether it's the militancy in the Niger Delta or the Boko Haram thing in the north and so on. One of the catching things is the fact that there is gross poverty in the land. So for me, just reintegrating them into the society will not solve the problem, because it's like coming back to square one. So what programs will government do to make these persons earn a living? To what venture? And of course, if they earn a living, it means that part of the country too will be better off. And it's not as if they don't have things that government could organize. The North is a completely agrarian society. So can you box them instead of just pushing them into the society? Can you box them into useful ventures? Alongside perhaps the supposed victims that you're finding today. Because it's going to take a long time for complete reconciliation to come. So can government run programs that will say, okay, create these things into small groups, create them into small groups, empower them to some levels, let them get certain yields, productive yields, and then you put those.
After all, they want to venture into agriculture.
Yes.
So
if you could
farms and put them
if
there.
you could if you could do that kind of thing, and then it keeps a closed environment for monitoring.
Yes.
So you could still monitor them over time. The man knows that I'll be here. This is what we're doing for the next 5 years, for the next 10 years. Then we can go back home. Whatever we do here, we'll be eating. Of course, again, it will reduce government's expenditure on. So government needs to look at serious things to do that will not only be good for this person, but will also be good for the entire country.
All right.
It's not just a simple throwback.
Okay. Let me take the way I came. So we're looking at solutions now.
Yes, I think for me, I've always said that immediately you are elected into a public office, you play two roles. One, as you implement the law as an administrator, then the other one, you act as a manager. Right now, we are looking for solution. Like we said during the paper review, that poverty is one of the reasons. Doc also mentioned it right now. In those areas and every part of Nigeria. I think the government of Nigeria, including the state government of those regions, and every part of Nigeria, by now was supposed to come up with programs. The program that will convince people to live a patriotic life. The program that will discourage people from venturing into crime. By the time you design such a program, you're already controlling the way the people behave and think. The way they sees issue and approaches them. Take for an instance, you can set up a scheme that rewards people of good behavior. You can set up a system that encourages scholarship when people actually, went to school. So by so doing, they become a competition between them. Say, by the time I live my life in this manner, by the time I become a very good patriotic citizen, it means there is a reward for me. And by the time I went into crime, it means I might be punished. So you are taking their mind off crime and engaging them in a patriotic life when you do program like that. And that is what I want the Borno, the Northeast, and every other geopolitical zone in Nigeria, including the local government, to embark upon. Design programs. Look at your comparative advantage, if need be. Look at those things that you think that you can do conveniently. There is resources, there is money. We take care of politicians who have alleged to have looted our funds. We still take care of them. We take care of people who are kidnappers and others in prison. We take care of them. We spend money on them. All those money should be channeled into programs.
So what kind of program? That's what I'm looking at. What do you suggest?
In the Northeast today, agriculture is the mainstay there. Right? If you engage them, for instance, you can just say, okay, people should form cluster. If you want to go into farm, this money is for you. Or we will provide you with whatever thing you need for you to be engaged in agriculture or in other artisans' work that you think you can do. By the time the government has sponsored that, and also education, you will see the citizens coming out of the odd way of life into the positive one. I think it's possible in the north. In the southern Nigeria, it's the same thing. There are those things that we encourage, even talent hunts. You can put up programs that will encourage the talents, the individual talents.
The talents they'll have is how to shoot.
No, we can do it. And that is one of the
talents for these ones will have to shoot and how to behave.
And because they have been so brainwashed.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, you can't have a talent hunt from rehabilitant people who are, well, I don't know. They might have
there are certain things that they can do. There are skills that they can do.
Maybe, yeah,
if the opportunity is provided
creating handmade bombs, maybe?
No, not bombs this time. There are things they can do. Some of them can do so many things. Every human is endowed with talent.
I'm just putting your legs.
Yes.
I'm just saying that for those sort of radical group, I'm thinking this will be what they will be talented in. But yeah, you might find some people who actually have green fingers and are able to grow stuff. But I appreciate the position you brought here. Let me just quickly move forward to Precious UDK. We're trying to get solutions. We have just 10 minutes on the clock.
Well, solutions. First, government should prosecute and punish those who are at the forefront of this affair. You see, like I noted earlier, government must be careful the moral lessons it sends to the society. Today, the impression is that crime pays. one way or the other. All you need to do is to carry arms against the state, overwhelm the state, and the state calls you to a round table to discuss with you. Go to school, go to serve the nation for 1 year in National Youth Service Corps, come back, the government ignores you. So we must, the government, not just we, not even the press, the government must know and be careful the signals it sends out to the public. That is to that extent. Now, if the government feels there is a need to rehabilitate Boko Haram, the question is, why must the rehabilitation be all of them caught in that atrocity? Is it that they all repent immediately they are caught, or what? Why has the Nigerian government never prosecuted this to a just conclusion, any of these Boko Haram terrorists?
But that's not true. They have been prosecuted.
Okay, beautiful. Beautiful. What is important is, if the government is prosecuting them, for me, I would want the prosecution to garner the kind of publicity the recreational activities is also garnering or gathering.
But you know what they say now? Bad news travels faster. So sure, a lot of people who are upset about the fact that you're rehabilitating these evil men and women, as it were. And so the story is spreading further. And the further it spreads, the more government needs to react to that and explain why they're doing that. I think this is why this is the forefront. I personally was digging up stories about how convicted Boko Haram members had to serve term in jail. And I saw quite a number of publications on that.
Well, that is beautiful. But I should also think that the number of those who are prosecuted and convicted should also, to a larger extent, equal those who are being reintegrated in the society.
Yeah.
And then, if those who are being reintegrated are those who have genuinely repented, because of course there are those of them who in the Boko Haram inordinate quest to gather more members, they come to a society, a community, they gather youth and they take there. Those who did not go into the Boko Haram activities out of their own free will, and then they come out to say, we are repenting, we don't want to be part of the Boko Haram. If government integrates such a person, it's applause.
Right.
But then, the government must be careful. I don't want a special pay for anybody who has held arms against the state in the first place. Be it the Niger Delta, be it Boko Haram, there shouldn't be any special pay for them. You can do skill acquisition. Let them acquire skill, use the skill they've acquired to go back to the society to do business, and not for government to put you on a special payroll because you've carried, and because we have our populations, we have a larger youth population in Nigeria. And if the signal we keep sending is that those who carry arms against it, they turn out to live in affluence, it is bad signal to the society. Let the government use the stick and carrot approach. Let it not just resort to the carrot approach alone.
All right, then. Emmanuel, we're looking at solutions. We're thinking, okay, good. So if we're not encouraging this sort of move that government is taking, what do we do? What are the options available?
Very many options. Government, first of all, you see, we have to tell ourselves the truth. Those that are crying that their loved ones were killed, nobody will be happy. Nobody absolutely will be happy. But you see, that's what you get in the events of war. Now, if anybody thinks that government, for instance, if those people that have been have repented, have apologized to government, invariably they've apologized to everything they committed. That is the truth. Now tell me, Nigeria Biafran war, the way you see the Biafrans exhibited massive wickedness on some people that didn't do anything. And you see Nigerian troops also exhibited such massive wickedness on some people who didn't do anything. Did anybody come out and then apologize? It is the art of war. In warfare, you have wickedness exhibited in various styles. However, once there is an end to that war, by way of these people who have claimed it to be repented, you leave what has gone to happen. It is very difficult. And that is why we are saying government has to be very careful to be able to ascertain that this claim of repentance is genuine. Don't just head them back into, after maybe some period you think is de-radicalization, you head them back into the society. For me, they need to be secluded to a certain time, wherein at that place they are, whether a place of work or they will be monitored 24/7 24/7. They certainly need that monitoring so as to be able to know that, yes, truly this one is for instance, if such monitoring were exhibited on the part of those in Burma as they are claiming, they wouldn't have gone back without notice. So provide employment away from the Northeast, especially their base, because if you see, the one I don't even want to hear is that you enlist them into the army. How can you do such a mistake?
Okay, so what you want them to do,
Emmanuel? So what they will do is, like I said, provide employment that is away from the Northeast.
What kind of employment? That's
Good.
what we're looking at.
The kind of employment, for instance, government has several corporations, where, like the railway, for instance. You now put them in areas that will be very much alien. You share them and say, this number in the Southeast, this number in the several
railway
places.
Doing what? I don't understand. What are they doing in the railway? They're constructing it?
No. There could be workers. There are several other engagements government may have. Now, because if
I want a former Boko Haram member, the railway worker.
They are repented. Okay. That is what is assumed. It's assumed. I'm still very careful in saying they are repented truly. Now, government is monitoring them. If you allow them, for instance, go back into the society, nobody cares. Nobody monitors them, and they will strike undercover. But because, the bile of evil is still in them. But if you take them to where they are monitored, you will certainly be knowing that this one is misstepping or this one is on the right step. Now, you segregate them if you are able to tell them that these ones, no, don't want you. This one will want you. And the ones you don't want, there is no need to now take life out of that person. You take them to confinement, where they will be rehabilitated, as they are saying, prison is correction. I don't know how they are correcting them. Now, there are also the angle of training them, like skill acquisition and all that. So that, most of these people entered this through poverty. When you make provision to some of them, they know that they come back, they fall back on the skills and they start earning life for themselves. It will be fine. Then the victims, government totally cannot leave them. Because if you leave them, I'm telling you, nobody will be happy to be looking at who hacked the life out of his father without going for a revenge, even if government has preached it here and there. So it is the duty of government to make sure that, yes, as you take care of these people that claim to have been rehabilitated and repented, you take care of the victims.
All right, Emmanuel. We got your thought. It's almost 10 o'clock, and we'll take this quick break here. We'll be joining the news desk for the news updates. We'll return to continue on our conversations here on Opinion Poll.
Today is here. Yesterday is gone and unrecoverable. Tomorrow, you don't know what it holds, right? You have today. Yes, you heard me. You have today. The indisputable truth is that today is pregnant with both good and bad. You have freely been given today as a gift to see what you will make out of it. Permit me to be positive. Permit me to sideline the negative and magnify the good. Permit me to espouse on today. Today is great. Today is wonderful. Today is targetable and targets can be achieved. Today is domineering and you can be dominant. Today is a conqueror and goals can be conquered. Today is challenging and you can challenge yourself for the better. Today is cheerful. You can choose to be happy. Just in case you're sulking, saddened and feeling sorry for yourself. Enough of the wallow in self-pity. You have today. I mean today. A journey of 1,000 miles starts with a step. Take that step today. Opportunities are everywhere. Just be sensitive. Build on yourself and get ready for the opportunity. Be the best you can be today, because I see the sun smiling on you. This message is powered by Today
95.1 FM.
Voice of the people.
Every day, every hour, when the big stories break, depend on our 24-hour news team to bring you the latest. Today, 95.1 FM.
Today. 95.1 FM. Port Harcourt. News update.
Hello and good morning. Here's the news update on Today 95.1 FM. The Rivers State Police Command has launched an investigation into an alleged sexual assault on a 32-year-old widow by a police officer at the Ogoni area of the state. Report had it that the said police officer, identified as Inspector Peter Iba, arrested the lady at Sakpenwa for failing to wear a nose mask, but rather than reprimand her, the police officer allegedly diverted the lady to a guest house where she was allegedly sexually assaulted and was later allowed to leave in the morning. The widow told newsmen on telephone that an SOS message to her contacts alerted the public about her predicament. When contacted, spokesman SP Omoni said the lady has made her statement and efforts are on to unveil the identities of the officers and alleged to have been involved in the act. A robbery attack on a bullion van in Ebonyi State has led to the death of 4 policemen. A deputy superintendent of police and the public relations officer in Ebonyi, Lovett Oda, explained that the policemen were escorting the bullion van to one of the first-generation banks along Ogoja Road in Abakaliki, the state capital. She stated that they were attacked and killed by suspected armed robbers along Ezambo, axis of the Enugu-Abakaliki Expressway. The police public relations officer in Ebonyi added that the driver of the van and other officers sustained various degrees of gunshot injuries during the encounter. The convoy of Borno State Governor Baba Gana Zulum has escaped an attack in Baga town. Governor Zulum was said to have left with journalists and the State Palliative Committee with the intention to complete his task before the Eid al-Kabir celebrations. During his last tour to northern Borno, military bomb sweepers discovered and detonated landmines laced on the governor's path ahead of his arrival. It is not clear if the landmines were targeted at the governor, as the military said it was a reoccurring trend impeding an operational mobility. A source in the governor's convoy who confirmed the incident to newsmen revealed that Governor Zulum was not hurt. And now to the foreign scene. The U.S. ambassador in Brasilia has been warned of consequences if Brazil chooses Chinese telecoms company Huawei to develop its 5G network. Ambassador Todd Chapman told the media that the warning from the United States is not to make $1 billion, but it is a matter of national security. Chapman also warned that Brazil could scare away foreign investment by contracting a company that the U.S. claims violates intellectual property rights and receives unfair state support that puts its competitors at a disadvantage. Brazil is due to launch a tender next year for the project to develop the next generation of telecommunications technology in Latin America's most populous country, home to 212 million people. The United States has been actively lobbying countries worldwide to boycott Huawei, arguing that the firm could allow the Chinese government to spy on their data. Other companies that have shown interest in Brazil's 5G tender include Sweden's Ericsson and Finland's Nokia. And that was the news update on Today 95.1 FM. Do not forget, take responsibility. Wash your hands frequently with soap and the running water. Avoid touching your face and high contact surfaces to prevent coronavirus. I am Annie. To have a good morning.
You ready? Today 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
Talk radio.
I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM.
Radio has never been this good. Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. This is Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt, voice of the people.
We're glad to have Ambassador Nefo from the Vision Business Hub here with us in the studio. Ambassador Nefo, you're welcome.
Thank you and good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm glad to be here today.
Ambassador, a lot of people will want to know, what is the Business Growth Assistance Program of the Vision Business Hub all about? We notice it is rapidly expanding all over the country. So what is the program all about?
Thank you. The Business Growth Assistance Program is an international partnership program of the Vision Business Hub. We help partners to raise capital for their businesses or projects without collateral or loans. And when they get the capital, they don't have to pay it back. You see, the key word is raise. Raise the funds you need for your businesses or projects over a period of time without borrowing money from anybody. Since 2016, the Business Growth Assistance Program have helped over 2,000 partners raise business capital without collecting loans, and they did not have to pay back. Here's the fact. That you have capital to start a business does not mean your business or investment will be successful. Therefore, the Business Growth Assistance Program will also provide you with a 6-month mentorship program where a team of mastermind mentors and business experts will work with you, advise you, mentor you for a full 6 months to ensure your business is successful. But listen, this mentorship will be rendered to you completely free of charge.
I believe this is a good program for such a time as this in Nigeria. But how does the Vision Business Hub make money?
Good question. We have international affiliate partners that support our program and make sure that those who need the mentorship will get it for free. We have been diligent for the past 4 years and our results are speaking.
So what are the categories of people that can benefit, and how can they contact the Vision Business Hub?
You will be contacted if you meet up with the categories I will mention as follows. Do you need to raise money to start a business? Do you need to expand an existing business? Do you want to start another investment to support your current income? Do you have the project or a project that requires money to execute? If your answer is yes to any of these categories, then send yes to the number I will call shortly. The Vision Business Hub has a functional working plan to teach partners how to raise the funds they need in a period of 3 to 6 months without collecting loans or dropping collateral. And once you raise the capital, you don't have to pay it back. To top it up, because we understand that the secret to any business success is mentorship, we have committed to providing free mentorship to the first 30 people that send yes to us from this program. So if you are not among the first 30 people to send yes to us, you have to pay a consultation fee of 50,000 naira. Yes, 50,000 naira. But if you are amongst the first 30 people to text yes, our consultants will talk to you completely free of charge right at our summit. Now, for every awareness we make, we select only 30 people. That means the first 30 people from this program that send yes to the number I will call will be selected. Remember, the great Pablo Picasso said that action is the foundational key to all success. Do not hope for change. Create the change you want through action. So if you want to take action and you need help to raise funds for your business or project, then pick up your phone now and send yes to this number.
080-277-24028. 080-277-24028.
Do not sit back and explain away what you do not understand. If you really need financial help to start a business or project, this is the time. Don't sit back and hope that life will get better. Dr. Steve Marboley once said, life will not give you what you want. It will only give you what you demand with action. The time for action, I believe, is now. So pick up your phone and send yes to this number.
080-277-24028.
I will call it again, but if you're one of the first 30 people to respond, you will talk to our consultants to benefit from the Business Development Assistance Program. So if you'd like to understand how we can help you to raise these funds that you need for your business or project, quickly send yes, YES, to this number.
080-277-24028. 080-277-24028.
Our representatives will give you a call and schedule a meeting for you with one of our consultants who will guide you on how you can create the capital you desire without loans or collateral. And when you get the capital, you won't have to pay it back. And then you will also get free 12 months mentorship to make sure you succeed in your venture. Albert Einstein said, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result is defined as insanity. So do not continue with the mistakes of last year. Make sure you do something different this year. Make sure you get mentorship this year. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again and God bless you.
Thank you, Ambassador Nefo, for sharing this business opportunity with us.
Wake up to today's quest. All the news and information you need in one go. Get started with the best of sports, lifestyle, analysis, and Annie.
Can you feel it? Can you feel it?
Can you feel it? Wake up to today's quest with Annie on Today 95.1 FM from 6 to 11 a.m. weekdays. Fantastic.
.1 FM, voice of the people.
And we're back.
Please listen to this announcement. Did you know that with your Android phone or laptop and starting with as little as 13,000 naira, you can earn over 10,000 naira daily? Discover how at Wealthy Life Campaign First Free Seminar this Friday and Saturday. Venue 38 Airport Road near Obiakpo Local Government Headquarters, Rumo Dumaya, Port Harcourt. Time 10 a.m. To attend, text YES to 0811133585. Thank you for listening.
Mean more than what is set down on paper. We often refuse to accept an idea merely because of the tone. The tongue can point to what the eyes cannot see. Not advertising on Today 95.1 FM is like stopping your watch to save time. At Today 95.1 FM, what we're saying is more important than how you say it. Allow us to give that idea of yours a voice. A voice. Give us a call on the numbers 0818 389 2850. Again, 0818 389 2850.
Welcome back. It's 14 minutes after the hour of 10, and we're going to move into another opinion poll for this segment, and this is with Miyetti Allah launches own security outfit. Following the spate of security challenges in the country, of Fulani Social Cultural Association, Miyetti Allah Hutuhure, has established its security outfit called Miyetti Allah Vigilante nationwide. In a communique issued by the national president and secretary of the association, Alhaji Bello Abdullahi Bodejo and engineer Saleh Al-Hassan, respectively, explained that delegates from 36 states have endorsed the establishment of Miyetti Allah Vigilante nationwide to assist the security agencies in curbing criminality such as cattle rustling, kidnapping, and rural banditry. According to them, the vigilante will operate according to the constitutional provisions and legal requirements of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The association called on the Inspector General of Police to protect Fulani pastoralists across the country against tribal hordes, ethnic militias, and cattle rustlers. They further urged the security agencies to commence the process of detailed documentation of the violence against Fulani pastoralists, including the collection of exhibits and all relevant information to isolate the perpetrators of the violence, arrest and prosecute them to forestall reprisals. The communique frowned at the continuous extrajudicial killings of Fulani pastoralists by some security agencies in the country, calling on the National Human Rights Commission to investigate these atrocities and ensure that justice is served. Meanwhile, on the other hand, you have certain parts of certain groups across the nation who are speaking up on the issue of the vigilante that Mieti Allah has launched. We have the Ohaneze, Pandef, and Afenifere. The formation of Mieti Allah Vigilante, a nationwide security outfit by Mieti Allah Hotohure, has drawn the ire of some social, cultural, and political groups such as the Yorubas Afenifere, Igbos Ohaneze Ndibo, and Niger Delta's Pandef, who described its national outlook as unacceptable. They contended that the activities of the Fulani security outfit should be localized rather than giving it national coloration. The national president and secretary of the association, Bello Badoje and Saleh Al-Hassan, respectively, had disclosed news of the formation of the outfit in a communique issued in Abuja on Wednesday, said it was aimed at assisting security agencies in checkmating such crimes as kidnapping, cattle rustling, and banditry. However, reacting to the formation of Mieti Allah's Vigilante, the Pan-Yoruba social-political organization, Afenifere said it was waiting for the response of the Attorney General and the Minister of Justice, Mr. Abubakar Malami, over the security outfit. Afenifere's National Publicity Secretary, Mr. Yinka Odumakin, says, we wait for the response of Malami, who said Yoruba governors could not do Amotekun on territories they were elected to govern. The law that allows non-state actors like Mieti Allah to set up vigilante all over Nigeria. This is the type of corruption that kills a country, which this government is condoning. In its reaction, Ohaneze Ndibo, the apex Igbo social cultural organization, says Mieti Allah had been on this for a long time. Spokesman of the group, Chuks Ibebu, said in a statement on Wednesday, I think these Mieti Allah people are either restless or mischief makers. They are attention seekers and troublemakers. If they want to set up security outfits in their states, it should be to checkmate terrorists among them, and that should be in their states of origin. Zones are now floating regional security outfits, and that is enough. This group should stop distracting Nigerians. On its part, the Pan-Niger Delta Forum, PANDEF, said Mieti Allah was grandstanding by claiming to have established its own security outfit across the country. National Chairman of PANDEF, Air Commodore Idongset Ikanga, retired, who made the assertion in an interview on Wednesday in Uyo, recalled that the Fulani cattle breeders had made the same statement before, adding he was yet to see or hear anything they had done so in the South. He said, I have not seen them here in Akwa Ibom or anywhere in the entire South. The point here is that are they spirits or are they hiding? I have not really got that story directly, but if they're planning that, we should tell them to go to hell. That all other regions are going to put up their own security outfit together like the Southwest has done. So all that talk is rubbish. Maybe they have done that in the North. We don't know. But in the South, we will stop them. They don't have capacity to do that in the South. We're not afraid of them. They are only grandstanding. Our people that understand and have interest of this country at heart should rise against that. Why are we succeeding with insurgency in the North? Is because the people there are the ones shielding them. But in the South here, nobody's going to shield them. So like I said earlier, they don't have the capacity to establish security outfits here. All right, so these are the issues. Mieti Allah says, look, we'll be working with the security agencies across the 36 states of the nation, and we'll be checking kidnapping, banditry, and cattle rustling. Now, the issues, again, along those lines is that anytime the issues of kidnapping these days come up, you hear that, well, there were people that from the North, they were headsmen. They had issues of cattle rustling. You hear it's amongst headsmen. Oh, there were people from the North. And if you hear of... there are certain issues that come up that has this that resonates around this particular tribe of people, and you find them around all the 36 states of the nation. Perhaps for them, the idea was, okay, we want to be able to help fix this problem. So we're setting up our committees across the 36 states who will work with state securities, with the federal security apparatus to ensure that we're able to flush out the perpetrators of this evil. So our people who are pastoralists, who are also being killed, we can document them. You can also find out that we're being named and destroyed too. And you find out that the most of us are perhaps not involved in this, but there are elements who are hiding under that cloak and perpetrating mayhem. Maybe if we work closely as a unit, as a vigilante group, alongside the security agencies, we'll be able to unveil this ugliness that lies within. Maybe this is their thinking. But then you have the Afenifere and Pandef and Ohaneze Indibo who says that's impossible. You obviously cannot operate on our grounds and our lands as an independent agency. You're not even a formation of any legal backing. You're not governors, you're not local government chairmen. You're just a group, a social political group as it were. And you want to have vigilante groups in our states. It's unheard of and it shall not be acceptable. For the Afenifere says, well, this is the point where we want to hear the Minister of Justice speak, because we had heard him earlier condemn Amotek. Maybe he has something to say. Now will be the right time. Emmanuel, I've just wrapped it up.
I think for me, is that move is very provocative. That's my opinion. Truly provocative, because I do not understand Mieti Yala as a nation, a state, a region. No, they are not a regional government. Rather, they are a trade association. Like you have Gary Traders, like you have any traders union you have. They equate with Mieti Yala's position and status. Now, every other traders live in all parts of this nation. It does not give them the right to go and start formation of their own security organizations. Now that the regions are saying they happen to be escalating situations along the security lines now, and Mieti Yala itself is coming to say, okay, you've formed a Moteku in the southwest, we are going to form our own. The southeast form their operation, whatever they name it, we are forming our own. See, very provocative, because, like I said, they are not a regional government. Neither are they state government. In states they live like others. Now, I don't know about the legality of their formations. I don't know, and I won't talk about the ones I don't know. Like they are saying they are not even a legal, maybe entity formed by having legal backing. I think they may have their legal backing as a trade association. They cannot pass that. Now, you remember some time ago when, I don't know who it was, whether government or so, that linked Ohaneze, Afenifere, Pandef with Mieti Yala. And it was also our position here that these are the apex socio-cultural organizations of their regions or their tribes, and not a trade association. So Mieti Yala shouldn't be classed along these people. Now, if Mieti Yala does not know, what if all the trade organizations form their own security wing? I don't know how Nigeria will be. That means Nigeria will just go into chaos. For me, like they said, I want to hear Malami speak on this. In fact, if he's keeping quiet and this just come out, well, I'm just thinking that he's arranging his or whatever speech to come out and talk. Because when Amoteku came up, we even said that, well, maybe because the state assemblies as at that time had not come out with a unified position. And so Malami was saying what he was saying. Because I know very well that if by the state's houses of assembly, they come up with a position, it becomes a law in that state. And that law is not outstaging the federal authorities' law of security, because the military still remains, the police still remains, and all the rest of them. For me, now that the Mietiala is coming up. What if the government say, no, you don't have such place, such right in our own area? You, because I want to believe that Amoteku will take care of Mietiala security in the southwest, as well as any other place, just as they are doing same with all the trade organizations existing in all such states. So on what pedestal, on what moral pledge does Mietiala have or is standing to form his own association? Are they the only trade association that is experiencing perhaps man's humanity to man in this country? I think Mietiala, it's high time Mietiala is told to know his boundaries. Because for me, like I said, it's very provocative. It could lead into some other things that nobody will want to have in this country. If government, this time around I'm talking about federal authorities, do not step in to tell them, men, don't do such. Like they said in their states of origin, I'm not looking at that. Because state of origins, that's not the only place they are living. They live everywhere in the country, but they should indeed make do with the security outfit of any state government they live in.
All right, oh, okay, got your thoughts on that. And let me get to Precious UDK.
Indeed, it is vexatious. It is provocative. It is one vituperation too many. The Mietiama stepped beyond its bounds. It does not have the powers to set up regional security, set up security, national or whatsoever in states, even in the states in the north. Who gave them the powers to set up security architecture thing? They do not have the powers. But you see, the problem is this entitlement mentality we have as Nigerians. That is why somebody can just wake up one day and say anything. To me, it's not something anybody should even worry about. It's not something anybody should worry about. The statement dies from the very moment it was issued. Because I know for a fact that they cannot come to Rivers State here to set up a security network. To do what? To parade where? To go to which place or where? It's not going to be materialistic. And then talk is cheap, as the saying goes. They've made a statement and it ends there. But there is also a need for the security network to call them and caution them. Your right ends where my own starts. Nobody has the right to encroach into another's. They should be cautioned. Such a statement may be met with reactions, and it will not tell well to any right-thinking member of the public that a group of persons in the name Mietiala came and is saying that they will set up security networks in all the states of the Federation Nigeria. It's worrisome. We must be cautioned what we say. And for an organization like Mietiala that has gained prominence in the media circle, I should expect them to be very cautious before making statements, because only that statement alone will put its activities in all the states into scrutiny. Security personnel, state governments, local governments, we have to review their activities to gear towards making sure that indeed they do not metamorphose itself into a security network. The government should caution them, and they should be reprimanded. There is no need for them to stir up the already volatile security situation in every part of the country. They do not have the powers, and I'm sure they definitely wouldn't do that. But then the security needs to caution them.
All right. Okay, we got your thoughts on that. Precious DK, let's get to Emi Fiahaga.
I think one of the vital elements of a state is the legitimate use of coercive force to comply obedience. Once a state downplays this vital element, what comes out is disorderliness. And things like this. The other time I talked about where somebody is elected, you act as a manager, and I made more emphasis on the managerial aspect. As an administrator, it is expected of you to ensure that the laws that are handed to you, that you are a custodian of, you implement them to the latter. That is the only way you will ensure that citizens comport their actions and subject themselves to the rule of the state. I want to tell Meyeti Allah, whatever thing you call yourself, you don't have people. Ohaneze Ndigbo, you don't have people. Pandef, you don't have people. Afenifere, you don't have people. What we have are Nigerians. And there is a law in place that governs the conduct of Nigerians. Yes, to an extent, the 1999 Constitution, I think Section 11, granted leverage to state government to come up with mechanisms on how to secure lives and property within their domain. But Nigerians, as we are known of or known by, we always find a means to abuse whatever opportunity that's given to us. We turn it to regional security outfits. Now, the thing has metamorphosed. So what we are now seeing is a socio-cultural group trying to assume the role of government by setting up security outfit. That is to say, the Ijaw nation will set up security outfit. The Robo will set up security outfit. The Ekpeye people will do so. The Ishan people will do so. They won't become of Meyeti Allah. At that point, we then have the people they are claiming to protect. I don't know sometimes that Nigerians, sometimes the way we behave, the way we do things, it calls for questioning. Sometimes we begin to, are we really a people and we are ready to be a nation? What happens to those things that are supposed to be refining our way of thinking, which is the history, education institution and all that, that we claim that we went to, and we perpetrate certain actions trying to provoke people to the point that people will be forced to do things that they don't need to do as citizens. The blame for me goes to the government. When you become very lenient in implementing laws that you were ought to implement, people will want to do things outside the law. Oftentimes we hear, oh, Afenifere, oh, Haneze Ndigbo, oh, this and this and Meyeti Allah and all that. Now, you see what we are saying. But assuming the government was able to enforce the laws to the latter, we won't have this. This also calls to this issue of tribalism. If we don't keep tribalism, it means this thing will destroy us. There is an aspect of political culture that talk about the behavior of citizens. He said that the behavior of citizens to a large extent determine the nature of a state. The form of government or the kind of government and a survivor of the state. You see the behavior of Nigerians now. If we continue in this manner, are we going to survive as a nation? If we continue this manner, this form of behavior that we are putting forth, what will be the fate of the country we call our own? That we are not having people that it is unused on us now to become government. And we want to protect people.
Our territory.
Our territory.
And our people.
Socio-cultural group now coming forth. Later we become trade unions who will set up security outfits and begin to protect their members. For me, enough of this tribalism and all that. Enough of this room that is the leverage that is granted this socio-cultural group that are troubling the peace of this country.
But you see, that for Pandef and that for Afenifere, it wasn't from the group that the security outfits emanated. It emanated from the leaders, and that is the governors.
Yes, I am saying the governors set up their regional security outfit, which is not in our law. Because some people drove this orientation. Because some people
Yeah, but we haven't
engineer
seen.
them.
But that has not been contested in court
Right.
yet. Until that is contested in the court,
Yeah.
it is what it is. They have said what they will do is localize it. If the state assemblies in these states endorse it, it becomes their law.
And that is the state assembly that is recognized
That's
by
what I'm
our
saying.
law.
And the state assemblies are there to ratify this.
They ratified this and they made it a regional security outfit.
Well, for each state, if this state said I'm going to endorse to have Amotekun, that's your state. You decide
Yes.
to have Amotekun. And if that state forms in a region and all the people in their sister and brother states all decide that yes, we'll have Amotekun as our local security outfit here, it doesn't become regional, but it's just that they have agreed on a common law.
What they put before us was regional.
That's what I'm trying to say.
security
You might
outfit.
want to look at it as regional, but the truth about it is, if Oyo states, because it has to be individualized.
Yes.
If Oyo state decides by its state assembly that we will want Amotekun,
Yes.
Amotekun becomes legal
Yes.
there.
Yes.
If the same thing happens in Oshun, it happens in Lagos, it
Yes.
happens in Ekiti,
Mm.
you might want to look at it as regional because this is what happens around the region.
Yeah.
But the truth about it is that each state ratified it.
I agreed, but there is a control system, a regional control system, right? That regional control system, is it recognized by our laws? The answer is no.
That's what I'm saying, that that regional control system, you have what you have here, where you have in the south, where you have this economic something that they created for south states.
I've forgotten that.
They have it.
Yes.
So is that recognized?
That one is economic. That one is economic. Issue of security.
That's what we're
issue
saying.
of are clearly stated in our
The
laws.
security issue here that
Yes.
we're talking about here is that your state says it is recognized that your states can have laws, right?
Yes.
It's recognized that your states can go ahead and protect themselves in
Yes,
that manner.
yes.
So
To an extent.
To an extent, yes.
Yes.
And remember that they also said that this security agencies must work alongside that of the federal agencies.
Yes.
Right? There must be a synergy.
Yes.
So if this is the entire idea, and they said, well, what we're going to have is we'll have the state governors be the regional leaders, so to say. Maybe
The state governors
state governors be the regional leaders. That's the board now, the entire board I'm looking at.
It has now
Of the
assumed the
states.
dimension of region. It's no longer at the state level.
Okay.
That is where I'm pointing at.
Okay.
See,
Now,
let-
if,
let-
Yeah, let him finish.
now,
Let's
if we
move
have
on.
allowed things like that,
Yes.
now Mieti Allah has come up with their provocative
Yeah, but Mieti
security,
Allah
whatever.
is not government. Mieti Allah is just a social
No,
cultural group.
At a time, no, I am not condemning the one the state governors did. But what I'm saying now is this: when we have allowed certain things over time, people will look for a room to abuse the
Okay.
processes.
True.
That is what I'm trying to say.
True.
Now, Mieti Allah, they are now seeing themselves as government that will set up security outfit to protect every cause of their own. Cattle rustling and all that. It's bad to steal their cattle. It's bad, to kidnap them. But there is a government in place that whatever challenges they have, these challenges were supposed to be channeled to the government, the authority that is recognized by the law that governs the conduct and behavior of the citizens. But in a situation where they have assumed government and setting up security outfit, even across certain domains, I think, for me, the government need to rise up and implement law the way they ought to implement decisively.
All right. Okay, we got your thoughts on that here. Let's move on to Dr. Emmanuel Irayanama.
I am surprised that we are hearing all the amount of noise we are hearing. Maybe noise is not the correct word to use. All the agitations as they are dropping. I'm surprised because except I didn't hear the position of Mieti Allah clearly. Security is ordinarily everybody's business. In virtually all the places I know, I have a house. I am a member of the PCROC. And that's because I feel I am a stakeholder in the security within that environment. Anybody can afford to look at it as an affront or I can't remember what the word Ndukwe used.
Provocative.
Provocative.
Yes.
For me, there is nothing provocative about it. Except they are saying they are going to build the kind of thing we hear. Even that is not going to be my problem. Motekun did kind of a thing. If they say they will work with security agencies to check, and in specifics, they're very clear. Part of the security challenge they have from their own perspective is the fact that people come to rustle their cows. Part of the problems they have as a challenge for themselves is the issues of people saying they are the ones committing certain crimes. And they say, okay, we want to work with. I'm not sure they are saying they want to form an armed group that is going to do monitoring. And if they do that, then I want to hear. And I think that was also the part of the fear Malami at the time Amotekun was to kick off. He also had that he said no, nobody. And then the governor started saying no, they're not going to carry arms. They will work with, and all the rest that created a situation where they had to come to the table to have this agreement of how that could work. All the markets we have, for instance, in Rivers State, have a security committee. All the markets. So when we say they're economic, yes, they're
of market.
Yes,
Course, yes.
They have, and they work with the police, the close division to that place. So first, when I begin to hear ethnic groups raising the level of, yes, we're a country where we are afraid of each other. Nobody trusts the other person. So for every other thing, we want to do a lot of blow up outside proportion. I mean, to a large extent. There is nothing, and I keep saying it, there is nothing wrong with people being security conscious. They are as security stakeholders as every other person in Nigeria. They do business around the entire country. Unfortunately, they now have a central body that is wanting to talk for everybody, and so people are looking at, what is happening? You want to build army around everywhere? No. So people should be able to ask themselves, what kind of thing? A security person should be able to find out what kind of security committees are you forming? What was going to be your modus? If it's just a team that will be responsible if something happens, this is the person among ourselves that will go and do the talking. If this is a person that will relate with the regular security we have, this is a person, if they catch anybody that is doing this, this is a person that will go and I don't have anything against it. It's a normal thing that anybody can get involved with, as long as you're security conscious and you understand how you understand what it takes to secure yourself, as it were. They owe themselves security, whether you like it or not. They are stakeholders in the country, and if in a country where there are security problems, nothing stops them. Nothing, I repeat, nothing stops them from saying, hey, we are going to build groups that if we have problems, this are the people that will relate with the external security. Except they are telling me that they want to build an armed group, they will now become their own, then.
I think that's what they're talking about.
I doubt. They say they will
so
work
how are you dealing with cattle rustling?
Let's take a very simple thing. A cattle is rustled from camp 1, camp 2, and they get to this committee. Committee goes to police, for instance, and reports, this is what is happening. What's wrong with it?
Criminal responsibility is individual.
It's individual.
Yes, so there is no need appointing a committee.
No.
Hold on.
It is when individuals cannot do a thing that they create what we call group dynamics. Yes.
Dr. Emmanuel,
yes.
Their position is rather vague as to whether they want to.
That's what I'm saying. People should find out.
They've used a word security outfit, and to the best of our knowledge, security outfit. That's what they said. Security outfit is what is replicated in a motorcon. You know, where they are armed. You know, and set up by a competent authority of the state.
It's not competent.
It is very, very
exactly what
the Attorney General of the Federation. The Attorney General of the Federation withdrew his opposition.
He did not.
When the Attorney General of the state wrote to him.
Okay, hold on.
He did not.
Hold on.
I'm not talking.
America
does not have the power to do that thing. I stand on that.
Can I say something here? Real quickly. Thank you very much, gentlemen. All right. So what's your position on this? Let me get to you, Precious UTK.
My position is first, setting up security architecture by Metiala is against the prevailing law of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Okay.
Taking it off from where Doc stopped. Criminal responsibility in Nigeria is individual. If you commit a criminal wrong, you go strictly for it. Nobody.
Yeah, but we see vigilantes everywhere in Nigeria.
Yes,
we have vigilantes here in River State.
There are vigilantes.
Okay, good.
Here in River State.
And all across Nigeria.
And all across Nigeria. And there are market associations.
Yes.
Metiala is subsumed in various market associations. So why singling itself out?
That's
so you mean that the Igbos in Matre market should set up Igbo security network?
Yes.
My trade market has a security network. That's what I'm saying.
Very well. Subsumed all groups and no business interest.
It's made up of not just only Igbo
That's
people,
what
right?
that's what we find.
Yes.
No, that's what we say.
That's my trade. Mieti Allah is our own market. Mieti Allah is an exclusive market for Mieti as it were.
That's what I'm saying. That
So why would you connect my market?
Allah Hutu Hure itself is not a market.
It's a market.
No,
It's not.
It's
subsumed in other markets.
It's a traders association.
No, it is not a traders association.
What is it?
No. It is for them. It is for pastoralists. Those who carry their cattle, and there are several of them who will tell you they don't sell their cattle. There are several of them.
They don't sell their cattle.
There are several of them who tell you they don't sell their cattle. Oh, plenty.
What do they do with it?
They pass it on. They inherit. The next person takes it. The next person inherits. There are several of them who I know who will tell you they don't sell their cattle.
All the ones that come here, I know, will kill them.
That's what I'm saying. The ones you know. There are several again. There are several again who for them it is just a way of life. That is their way of life. We exist in this form. And then if you say that for this group of people who are pastoralists, who cattle back and forth the length and breadth of Nigeria, we're going to form a special security
to protect ourselves and protect
themselves. That's what we're saying. That if you're in one place, it's probably understandable.
Thank you.
If you're in one place.
Anyway,
I would want to believe that if they were setting this up in Kaduna State or setting it up in Sokoto State, there wouldn't have been this sort of rousing discord from the other groups. Now, if you want to come to Ekiti State that has this Amotekun, for instance, operating, and then you want to say, because this issue that you're talking about has to do with kidnapping, and therefore it's going to be something that will be dealt with the what they call them again? Who are they? Hutu Hure. Mieti Allah Hutu Hure security architecture. I'm trying to imagine the kind of clash that will perhaps come up when Amotekun is saying, look, this is our land and this is how we dictate the things to be done. And then Hutu Hure is saying, well, these are our people and then we are here to protect them. First of all, they also did say that this security architecture will work according to the laws of the land.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I also know that there are certain laws that are domesticated per state.
Yeah.
So what happens when they enter those states and then the state perhaps says, I know some states that have issues concerning open grazing. And then you go there and you say, well, in protecting of your people, you will not obey the open grazing laws that have been domesticated. Hold on, that's what we're saying. That in the case where what you're saying is, far-flung like this, there's so many eventualities that it seems as if the group did not take into perspective before they came up with such a statement. Especially if what they're doing is beyond, like how you're trying to say, they just want to be reporting to the security, and if that is what they want to do, well, go ahead.
That's my thinking.
If they want to do more than that,
then I have a problem.
Oh, okay, good. Now we're beginning to see each other on the same page.
Then I have a problem. They want to go beyond that.
You see, I chose that word very carefully when I said it's provocative, because Mieti Allah Hutu Hure, what is not a state government. It's not. Now, maybe let me clear what Emi was saying in the Southwest that becomes regional. It's not regional at all, even though it's what you may look at it or what they term it. Now, there is no law in the Southwest that says, Ekiti said, I'm not going to belong to Amotekun. They are now forced, you must belong to Amotekun. Rather, the State House of Assembly of Ekiti says, okay, we want to. Oshun, like that. And because there is unanimity, that is why it now wears the garb of a regional something. Simple. But if Ekiti wants to pull out, they have a right. If Oshun wants to pull out, they have a right. But their State House of Assembly is now unanimous. Nobody knows what will happen tomorrow. Now, the Mietiala, the state government of, the place they have established their own, what they call it, security outfit, is the Southwest. Now, Mietiala exists in the states of the Southwest. For now, I don't know the activities, but I want to believe fully that they have the wing that even interacts with the law enforcement agencies. For now, even without...
It may not.
No.
And that's what they're working on.
No. I am giving my opinion. And I said I believe And there is nobody that doesn't have such. No group that doesn't have the group that they link with the police. No, none. So for me, I believe that they have it now. But when you say security outfits, just like you have the Amoteku, the saying is that you come to this particular Southwest and they said, for instance, they don't want to open grazing. And you said you must be going to track your people. The big question I want to ask that will tell us whether it's something, because I know cattle rustling, you can't use your bare hand to go and stop those who are doing it. Now, that you have this group as your own, does it negate the fact that the general group like Amoteku is not taking care of maybe a section of the people and leaving a section?
Even the Nigerian police is not. There are several cases. Let me tell you.
No,
there are several reported cases. There are several reported cases where cattle are rustled in a community, butchered and eaten, and nobody does anything. And we're saying that if this is my cattle, for instance, I say, okay, we'll have a body who this could be reported. And the man, of course, maybe he doesn't even know how to speak English. He gets out, and the situation he went to nobody. He doesn't have somebody. I have defined it clearly. If it is a group that the way I understood it will merely be liaising with them, the ordinary persons doing the rustling, if that's what the committee will do, and the regular security agency.
Finishing, let us wrap up.
Yes, I want to believe, quite frankly, that the security network or outfit or is happening in his state. And so, Mietiala, like I asked, we have maybe hundreds of trade associations or what of course socio-cultural associations. They come up with their own. What kind of nature will Nigeria be?
We already have.
Yes.
My free market has.
For me,
we keep telling that the one in my free market is a combination of everybody. It doesn't have an ethnic. It doesn't have an ethnic outlook. It does. No, you can't. You can't. It's the ethnic outlook that's.
If you have a complete Igbo market, if you have a complete Igbo market. That market will very
but we do not have a complete Igbo market. Moreover, for Mieti Allah, he also has time when he has to evolve its markets with other people. Does he sell the cattle to himself?
Oh yes.
No, he doesn't sell the cattle. He doesn't sell the cattle to himself. He doesn't sell the cattle to himself.
I am not sure you sold cattle before.
Neither have you. He doesn't sell cattle to himself. And moreover, it is moving around in other places that it does not have monopoly of. You're moving into areas that it's not yours. So you cannot say in that place now you're going to have an identity of a security outfit that is completely yours.
Yours. In the first place, for me, Amoteku, just like Saima said, please, Amoteku have a central fund. They have a central control system that made it a regional
because of the agreement.
As long as it has crossed the state level, it has become a regional, which is not recognized by our law. No matter how you try to paint it, it's a regional security outfit.
Well, I'm waiting for the Attorney General to take that on, really, so that we can all be clear on that. Because I know the Attorney General made
a political solution.
Let me say what I'm saying. I would like to see that, really, so that let the Attorney General take that before.
Then the other aspect of it,
so that the rest of us will understand what we're doing.
That's good. Then the other aspect of it, for me, even whether a Kaduna, a Gombe, a Sokoto, Mieti Allah has no constitutional right to set up security outfit.
That's why I say leave the state.
Even the one that Pandef or Hanese Dibo Afenifere are saying our domain, they don't have domain. What we have is the territory, Federal Republic of Nigeria. What they have is the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and the law says no Nigeria should be stopped for carry out their.
What is federalism?
Federalism in this context, in the Nigeria context, our federalism is defined by our laws.
I asked
our
a simple
federalism is
question.
not the one of America.
Federalism is a
Our
system
own-
where states,
Wait.
independent states create a federation.
Yes.
In Nigeria, a federation creates states. Is there federalism?
Now,
Our own is even defined by our law. So our kind of federalism
we have domesticated
is the one
it. It is unitary federalism.
Our own is quasi federalism and
Unitary
it's defined by our
federalism.
constitution. And if the law says no Nigerian to be allowed to carry out his
See.
legitimate trade
See.
in any part of the country, then Ohaneze Edigbo Pandef or Afenifere has no right to say in our domain. What we are saying now is this: Miyetti Allah is not recognized by law
Who
to
is
set up any
Miyetti
security
Allah? What
act
is
anywhere.
Miyetti Allah for that
It is not because it is southern Nigeria, no. So even that argument by Ohaneze Edigbo and Pandef Afenifere should be taken out. Then I have no right to stop any Nigeria to carry out their legitimate trade in any part of the country. So that's to get into their head.
let me tell you one thing. There's no kind of form of government you'll be running that Kano becomes Enugu. Kano remains Kano.
Whether it is Kano.
Hold on. And then Kano remains in Nigeria as Kano and a city of northern people in Nigeria. You see, in Nigeria as a federal federation.
Yes.
The same thing with Enugu. It remains a state, a city and a state by extension of Igbo people. You see, that is why federalism engrosses constituents.
What define the Enugu state? What define the Kaduna state?
It's okay. All right, I'm
chance.
wrapping this conversation up. Okay, since we're just going back and forth here. It's okay. We've all heard our chance to say what we want to say on this. We're moving forward. Thank you very much. All right, for everybody else who's been listening to the show, we've been talking on two issues here for opinion pool. We've been talking on two issues here for opinion pool. Earlier, it was on. What was the very first story that we even took? Yes, this was on the issue of
the repentant
Boko Haram and Undume, who says it was not helping. We looked at that issue. What do you do with Boko Haram members who said they were repentant? And what action do we advise government to take? Boko Haram will do more harm than good, says Senator Ndume and other victims. This is what we took for our first conversation. And for the second conversation, we looked at the fact that Miyetti Allah launched his own security outfit. And following that swiftly was Ohaneze, Pandef, and Afenifere reacting to Miyetti Allah's vigilante setup. These are the issues that we took for our show this morning. We enjoin you to please share your thoughts with us on our various social media platforms on these two issues. You can actually tweet at us. Our Twitter handle is at TodayFM951, at TodayFM951. Or you go on Facebook. Today95.1fm is our page, www.facebook.com/today95.1fm. Let's hear from you on this. And also, you can send us SMSs. Send an SMS to 07019339962. That's 07019339962 as SMS, and also WhatsApp. Comments 07019339962. Of course, for phone calls 0817-0000-951 or 0810-951-0951. Those are the numbers for the studio. 0810-951-0951 or 0817-0000-951. Now, I can deal with the heated arguments from within the studio. So when you do call in, please mind your words and your tone. I would appreciate that a lot. Hello, Today 95.1 FM. Good morning.
Hello, Madam Annie. Good morning, and okay, ma.
Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Honestly, I'm Akachukwu Steven from Rumundru. To be sincere with you, my mind and heart have been bubbling.
Sorry.
Over since this argument ended. I could remember the time that one of the senators from the Southeast said that attack to the Boko Haram is attack to the Northern Brothers. And one key thing that we have all forgotten about this Boko Haram before I even say about Miyetti Allah is that these boys, these guys, they did not repent, they did not surrender. Army engaged them, some of them in one front, and overpowered them. Now ask me, which human being on earth will you arrest and ask that human being, will you like to be killed or sent to jail or agree that you have repented? As a human being, what will be the answer that you will give? Have we all forgotten that in just of recent time, Army came out to say that they are not happy over the release of 1,000 plus from prison. These boys have not repented, and they just accepted it as a way out.
All right, then.
There's no way they will be there forever.
Yeah, but you know,
and that is why they have just accepted. Secondly, about Yeti Allah, you know, when most people say, except is from confirmed, because in Nigeria now, except the police confirm some certain statement, is not a statement yet, or when the statement is from who they assume is pharmacist, it's not a statement. A high crime person will say it. For me to say, this is just an agenda. There is no way they will come out fully, but gradually they will achieve what they are looking at.
All right, then. Thank you very much. We got your thoughts on that. Thank you. Hello, Today 95.1 FM. Good morning.
Yes. Good morning.
Good morning. What's your name?
Yes, my name is Eddie, calling from Port Harcourt.
All right, AB, good to have you. Go ahead.
I will try to see if I can combine the two. The issue of amnesty to Boko Haram.
All right, go ahead. Try.
Yes, and we've forgotten that Boko Haram, these are terrorists that have link with other international terrorists, of which we know. How come you say you are giving them amnesty? Do you know these people are planning another strategy for attack? As I'm talking to you, these are the people that have been killing innocent Nigerians, both in the uniform men and civilians. Their boys now release them to go into surrendering aspects so that you will reintegrate them into the military, into the forces, and into the civilian people to get more information on a soft target. These people are planning on another attack. But we are not seeing it.
Okay, all right.
Giving them amnesty.
Okay.
All right. Now, the issue of Mieti Allah saying that they have set up what? Security outfits across Nigeria. You see the people that send these boys during the lockdown were crying that we saw them in different trucks. Have you seen it now? These people have settled and mounting pressure on their men to declare this so that when we see them on the street or arrested, they say we are security men set up by Mieti Allah. Have you seen their plan? Have you seen their strategy? And we are not seeing it.
All right,
and
then.
when we talk, they say we are talking.
Yeah.
They have
but we'll keep talking. Thank you very much. We got your thoughts on this. Thank you very much. 0810-951-0951 or 0817-000951. Hello.
Hello, Annie.
Yeah, hi. How are you?
Yeah. Good morning, Chief Ndukwe and the guests in the studio.
Good morning.
Yeah. Annie, you see, even though I like the General Muhammad Buhari so much, but one dislike for him is that he has allowed the emphasis of this Mieti Allah to linger for so long. And he should take a clue in blessed memory, our great leader that ever lived, Musa Yaradua, who was not a military man, but a disciplined and a straightforward man. Even though he was a Fulani man, they did not give room for this menace or emphasis of this Mieti Allah. And this is why I want to disagree with Dr. Emmanuel in the studio. He is trying to justify these people by saying they want to work with security outfit. But he has failed to understand that before the 2019 election, this Mieti Allah, they were giving all kinds of threats about the election. This Mieti Allah, even when the regional security this thing came up first, they came out, they were giving threats. This Mieti Allah, even when they were talking about Ruga or whatsoever, this Mieti Allah came, they were giving threats. What is their business about coming out to talk on national issue as if they are a arm of government. Even though they have their rights as citizens of this nation, but that does not give them the audacity to come out and begin to make all kinds of threats. But also, I will still step further. You see this Pandef and Afenifere, their utterances also has been a catalyst for the excesses of this Meti Allah as well. So my advice for all this group or individual is that they only have this tenor that as from 223 onward, except the world comes to an end. If they will not mind their business, all this their threat and trying to hold the nation ransom on one issue or the other will be put to an end. Even if it happens that there will be a wonderful blown war or whatsoever to put this menace once to an end. And UN and human rights to take note when that time comes, because they will not come when they begin to make consequences on such people. They will not come out and begin to interfere.
All right, then we got your thoughts on this. Thank you very much. 08109510951 or 0817000951. Those are the numbers for the studio. Hello.
Hello, good evening. Good morning. Sorry.
Good morning. What's your name?
This is Seda from you.
All right, Elder, go ahead.
You see, I want to look at the comment of Alain. You see, it's quite unfortunate that the government of today actually saying they are reintegrating the Boko Haram. Now, put them back in the military and they reintegrate them to the society and they become a pandemic. It's quite unfortunate. Alain Dume is making a capital, he's making a very correct statement. Remember, he's from Borno State and he has seen the danger. Have you wondered why our military are constantly being ambushed? It's because of sellers. They are being sold out by their fellow military officers, and it cannot be. It might not be mistaken if we say it is the Boko Haram people that was reintegrated into the system. It's quite unfortunate that our presidents are just here and I don't know what I say there is being manipulated. Because if he has done all these established shifts, I think the new person will reject the system and be able to flush out the chaff in the military. Currently, there is a lot of chaff in the military, and that is why you see what is going on. How can you tell me that Nigerian military that is making waves here and there? He went to Sierra Leone, Liberia, Mali, and so many other places. I mean, they were faced to record with, but in your own backyard, you cannot be able to conquer a common enemy. I mean, it is so sad.
Okay.
It is very, very pathetic.
All right.
Are you aware of what happened in Ghana just yesterday?
All right, we got your thoughts there.
We have military. I think the president of the country should sit off. Otherwise, I would see him as a monument sitting on that seat.
All right, we got your thoughts there. Hello, Today 95.1 FM. Do call back 0810-951-0951 or 0817-0000-951. Hello, Today 95.1 FM.
Annie, good morning.
Good morning, DK. Good to have you.
Thank you very much. My greetings to your guests in the studio. I've listened to the heated argument, especially on this real talk issue, Mikiala. I've also heard what Dr. Emmanuel has said. But you see, for me, whether he accepted or not, the appropriation of ethnic militia in this country called security outfit is a recipe for future anarchy, future chaos in this country. What is the job of Nigerian police? Nigeria is just gradually disintegrating. You see, my people say that a cricket would burn finish in the fire, and the person roasting it will say is bringing out oil. That is what we are having. Let there be any ethnic or regional conflict in this country, like we had Sharia, then people will know the role of this so-called security outfit. It's totally unacceptable. It should be condemned. The money channels to phone all these security outfits should be used to equip Nigerian police to do the job. This country is integrating. That's my own opinion. Thank you.
All right, then we've got your opinion on that. Thank you so much. I'm trying to see if I can access the text message portal, but I'm having a little challenge, so we might just have to stay with the phone calls. Hello, today 95.1 FM. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Annie.
Good morning. What's your name?
My name is Innocent Umoren. I'm calling from Akwa Ibom State.
All right, Innocent from Akwa Ibom State. Good to have you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to speak. I want to talk on the Miatiala security outfit.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, I want to say it's a welcome development because it will really help and speed up the breakup of the country because that's what they are looking for. They came up with a rural settlement and it's failed. They came up with a cattle colony, it's failed, and now they are saying they want to all over the country. So for me, I think it's welcome development. It should allow them to come up with it. So it will speed up the breakup of the country.
All right then. So which part of Akwa Ibom are you calling from?
Yeah, I'm calling from the Ikotekpene.
From Ikotekpene. Great to have you on the show.
All right, thank you very much for having me.
All right. 08109510951 or 0817000951. Hello today. You know what he said is I was like, where is he going to? Hello today 95.1 FM. Please, you've got to speak up. We can hardly hear you.
Yeah, hello. Good morning, Annie.
Yes, good morning. What's your name?
Yeah, my name is Promise. I'm calling from Abia State.
Promise from Abia State. Where in Abia?
Yeah, precisely in Mecca, Isialangwa.
Isialangwa. Great to have you. Go ahead.
You see this Neti Allah, and many people have been calling and condemning this particular people want to dead. Don't be surprised tomorrow. All of us here that it has been said, and we have nothing to do. Will you protest? Protest for what? You will not protest, and you not be. You see that you don't have our right anymore as citizens to talk or to say what we citizens need. Now the president and the people side now tell us what to do. There is no problem, but there is God.
All right then. What's your thoughts there? Hello today 95.1 FM. Phone lines are still open 081095100951 or 0817000951. This would lead you right here to me actually. Hello today 95.1 FM.
Hello, Annie. Good morning.
Yes, good morning. What's your name?
Oh, you're good. Yeah, I'm Peter from PHC.
Okay, Peter from Port Harcourt.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, I've been hearing it has been a heated argument in your studio, especially the doctor there. For me, I'm not comfortable with your stance. I can't even understand where you are. But as far as this very nation is concerned, no matter that we say we have government, the federal government as they assume to be, the individuals living in this land, the individual that that God himself placed in this very soil, have their own place, have their family, have where they are coming from. They are rooted from great grandfather. And you don't tell me, even individual as you are there, you have your place. You hear about landlord and all that. You have to protect your place. You don't stay there and somebody will come and put up a law, no matter whatever, in the name that we are general. So in this sense, what am I saying? I'm bringing together what Alin Dume said and what Neti Allah said, that there is a strategy. If we are not careful, especially those of us in this part of this nation, if we are not very careful, that's a strategy. Now, if these people who are coming from Boko Haram are allowed to mix up with society, and society means that they are now free for anybody to use. And the Allah is also coming and saying that they want to establish their own security outfit. Who are these outfits that is going to stand for them? And that's why there's suspicion that the government in place, the federal government and their military, are there looking at all these things and keep quiet. Is it because Buhari is a Fulani or what? That something should not be done and the nation is boiling like this? Like the last caller said, there is a boiling point. But I am praying for my own family, my own children. I know what the war of the past war did. But I pray that those of you who are there in one way or the other, politically in one way or the other, you are supporting. Be careful, because there's something coming up. We need to do something and help ourselves and help our children.
We got your thoughts on that. Thank you very much. Peter from Port Harcourt. Hello, Today 95.1 FM.
Good morning, Annie.
Good morning. What's your name and where you're calling from?
I'm Chima, calling from Port Harcourt.
Chima, thank you so much.
Annie, I think I'm in support of Arlene Dume. When I saw him spoke last night. Annie, I think the government should be conscious on how they are giving amnesty to these people. And I sense conspiracy. I mean, this repented Boko Haram. I believe that they must have given one information or the other that would have was going to lead to the arrest of maybe other persons. How come they are not seeing that much progress? We are still seeing Boko Haram, attacking and killing everything. Does it mean that these people, they just went and brought them somewhere and claimed that they are Boko Haram? If they are Boko Haram, they are being radicalized, rehabilitated. So they must have been giving information. You understand? That will lead to maybe trying to reduce the insecurity we are having today in the north. Then issue of regional security.
Yeah.
I think since the government of the day have failed to amend constitution that will grant states to be able to take care of their security, everything is taking nature, is taking its place. That is what is happening. I'm in total support of it because with what we're having, the police are helpless. The armies are helpless. They have been overwhelmed. So the only thing there is for regional security. And in my place, in Rumodogo, now, we started going to the village when OSPAC was set up. You understand? So even when there was a shootout in my place, the police were at the gunshot. They had the gunshot. None of them came. You understand? So the police have been overwhelmed and they are helpless. They can do nothing.
All right,
so the only way is that regional security. I'm in total support of it. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Today 95.1 FM, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning. What's your name?
I'm Stella West from Port Harcourt.
Stella West, good to have you.
Security outfit to eating people's crops. You know, they just overlook that one. That is the most important thing they need to talk. Because when you see them operate in this part of the country, they will just enter your farm and, eat up even the one under the soil. They will put it and they eat it up. It's a problem. So I thought that the security outfit, the one who said, is to guide their people how to, pilot their cattle. They are talking of the cattle rustle. You should talk about, invading people's farm, eating up their crops. So that is another problem that will cause a very big problem very soon. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Good to have you on the show. Hello, Today 95.1 FM. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Annie.
Morning, what's your name?
You'll be calling from Port Harcourt.
Okay, good to have you. Go ahead.
Yes, by Irene Dume comment, let me say something. Irene Dume was a governor of Borno State.
No.
Is it?
It's Ali Modu Sharif.
Yes.
But Ali Modu, who is speaking, he has only been a senator.
So let me say something. If you can, do your paper carry any news about this and that attack on governor's convoy in Borno State?
I didn't carry it from the paper, so it's in the news.
Okay, it's in the news. Okay. If, for example, Nigeria really wants to stop Boko Haram, they should go after those former governors from 1999 to 2007, because that when Boko Haram and the Sharia started. I was in Meduguri then. That is when all those things started. Those things are going on. Those former governors and the senators, they are not doing anything to stop the issue. What they are telling us, tomorrow they will come and tell us they will do that. They are really telling us. He was accused about the Boko Haram of a thing. Today he's not telling us what Boko Haram is doing and what the government should not do about Boko Haram. And Fulani S-men saying that we will set up their own security aspect. My dear sister, is it to secure Nigeria or secure who? Did Nigeria have security?
All right, then.
This I was sorry for her.
Hello, Today 95.1 FM. Good morning.
Hello, Annie, good morning.
Morning. What's your name?
My name is Emmanuel. Again, my good morning.
Good morning, my brother.
So, Emmanuel, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
Go ahead, Emmanuel.
Yeah, the subject of discussion is very, very interesting. And I wish to air my own opinion. America has Guantanamo Bay, where they keep terrorists. And 20 years. They send them there, they keep them there to make the world safe, to keep the world safe. Why will you release people you know are combatants, trained to handle weapons into the wider society of Nigeria? That is wrong. To my mind, the reason for this action of the government is because Boko Haram can do look out on streets. They don't have manpower. Release the trade wars, put them back there. But that will make me feel that Boko Haram is a business. Boko Haram Nigeria Limited. The chairman is there, managing director is there, board of directors are there, and they're making Nigeria dry. They want to know how to stop Boko Haram, pay the money. The defense budget, who takes care of the defense budget? Who are the beneficiaries? Who supply the arms? Who supply the ammunition? Who are the people responsible for making sure that the war is kept on? You place the money, you can stop Boko Haram. This country is a great country. If little countries like Niger, like Chad, like Cameroon can stop Boko Haram operation in their own territories, why can't Nigeria? If Nigeria cannot, it simply means that it's a business interest. And anybody who is doing business will do everything possible to protect his or her business. That is why Boko Haram is ongoing and will continue. This country drastic is taking to stop it from the point of funding. I rest my case.
Thank you so much. Today 95.1 FM. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. What's your name?
My name is Jude. I'm calling for OJ.
Good to have you.
Oh, thank you. I want to talk about this insecurity in Nigeria, and especially this the issue of the herdsmen security outfit.
Okay.
You see, I would say that the government has failed to secure and protect the life and the property of the people or of the citizens of Nigeria. So, to me, that is why individuals have come up with some security acts so that they can protect themselves. So, because I don't see the reason why we can have some thousands of security in Nigeria, the army, the police, but they are failed to secure the life of people and the property. So, coming for individuals to come up with security acts, I think is the better idea so that they can protect themselves since the government fails to protect them.
All right, then.
So I think it's a welcome
development. All right, then. We got your thoughts too. Today 95.1 FM. Good morning.
Good morning, Annie.
Morning. What's your name?
Odnaka from Odmaya.
Odnaka. Great to have you.
Thank you very much. Good morning to Iman there.
Good morning.
Thank you very much. Annie, I want to say that our government is very wicked. Our government, from the president to the senators, the governors, are very, very wicked and devilish. How can the government allow people like Boko Haram that have been killing people, raping women, murder? Look at the old woman say that the mother, his own wife, his husband, before her present, even her own son before her present. And today the identity comes suffering. And the same governments are telling us they are going to repatriate these people back to the society. 601 of them paying 20,000 naira. What are they doing? Encouraging crime and criminality in the system. They are encouraging crime in the government, in the city, in the country. Because you can't tell me that when I see somebody that killed my brother or my sister, my father, my mother, then tomorrow I'll see the. I can't imagine it. I can't imagine it. People are languishing in prison. Most people that just because of no offense of theirs, because maybe two fighting or whatever, or something that's still power, or just one small crime, have been punished. Most people have been there 20 years in prison. I was in trial. And somebody that has been killing, going out wild with guns, are being set free. And what are you telling us? That you're encouraging us to, okay, go and take up crime. Just like what Asari said one sometime. Asari said the government of Nigeria does not understand. The only language they understand is the language of the bullet. That is what they understand. Because people have been rewarded in Nigeria. It's only bad people. When you are committing crime here and there, the government encourages you. You call Boko Haram people and you want to pay them off. You're paying them off. And you take them back to the side. And it's very, very wrong. Now, for the issue of the Metiala that have been threatening fire and brimstone every now and then in this country. Remember the Metiala was people that said that they should destroy IFOP terrorist group, and the government obeyed. Metiala went to Benue State, and they were telling the Benue governor that if you gazette this grazing of into your system, if you gazette into law, and we're going to continue killing people. They never said you're not responsible. Last time they said because of our 300 cows that were killed, that's why we slaughter people. 300 cows. And now government is telling they are telling us they told us last time that they are going to form a security outfit. They want to start with 5,000 pets, but they're going to get 100,000. They came out to deny it. Now today they are coming out to tell us that yes, they've already started. They want to kick start. Now they will come to my place.
Okay, so your point here, let's get to what your reaction to that is.
My reaction to that is very, very wrong. They don't have that right.
All right, then.
They don't have the right.
Okay. We got your thoughts. Thank you so much. We'll see if we can take just one last call, and then I'll get to the first our messages on Facebook, read that up, and wrap up on this segment. Hello, Today 95.1 FM. Please move away from away from where your listening device is situated.
Yes, I have done that.
Thank you very much.
Ali Joseph from Eche.
Go ahead, we've got you on the air.
Madam Anne, to tell you the simple truth about this Senator Ndume statement, don't be surprised that in next 48 hours, if not 24 hours, his people will call him to order for making such statements. Anne.
Yes.
Peter, I'm a living witness. I can come to your station.
Yes.
For you to see me. When we are in the field, our commander, Ali Yusuf, forced us to lay down arms. Threatening my own direct commander that one more bullet, he is dead. His fellow commander, one more bullet, he is dead. And today they are saying, see, let me tell you, Boko Haram is a game, and I'm not sure no serving chief can stop that without going for the main people who are involved in the game. That is my take for that. If you want me to come to your station,
I would love that. I mean, you can't make these kind of pronouncements and you don't think I'm going to roll out the red carpets and have you here. Please come to the station. Hello, Today 95.1 FM. You're the last caller.
Yeah, good morning, Annie. Thank God that I've been trying to call since.
All right, go ahead to it now. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, my name is I'm calling from Okrika.
Great to have you. Go ahead.
Annie, let me give doctor in this.
Yeah, Pastor.
Yeah.
So you won't greet the rest of us?
No.
No, you people are always my followers because dogs always come once in a while. Yeah, you don't.
We're your followers. The rest of us, Precious UDK, Emifia Haga, we're your followers. It's all right. We love you too.
Yeah. So let me go straight to the point. You know what is happening in Nigeria? Everybody in this country is not happy. The man from the south, the man from the east, the west, the north. We are all angry for one thing. And that one thing we're angry about is our constitution. If everybody will join hands together to see how we can review our constitution, so everybody will be happy. Because I have been hearing a lot of people making negative comments in the start. Once I listened to Aka Ikenga, a group known as Aka Ikenga, who declared that they are going to protect the Igbos with all their life, with any way they are. So that I'm not asking if Aka Ikenga is the voice or the voice of Nigeria or the president of this country or the security agency that will protect people with any arsenal, with any resources they have, when we have already entrusted ourselves to the government of Nigeria to protect life and security. Now, if Netiala make this comment, he will not see people from the southeast, antagonizing and making a lot of questions, asking a lot of questions. But when someone from the southeast makes such a comment, it becomes a hallelujah and a Hosanna. So I don't know why that enmity is on us. We must first share our bitterness and now look at what is holding us strong. If there's any need for us to go into the confusion and say, okay, this is what we can do, for we to be satisfied by each other, for we to love each other, for we to share common interests above one interest, then that would be the best. But for the issue of Boko Haram, I don't think that call is a good call. If they are releasing Boko Haram, put them to the war front. Don't release them for pardon. Take them to the war front. If they are slowly repenting Boko Haram, take them to join them to the military to go and fight their enemies who are their colleagues in the business forest. Not to bring them into the society. It must take 10 years to change someone's mentality. Someone that has been radicalized. How long would that? In fact, these women have not been into office for 5 years. For them to just start changing person character behavior.
All right, then.
We must put them into the right reform.
Comrade, thank you so much for your contribution. Thank you so much. We've got to let it go. Sorry. On Facebook, Christopher Nwogo says PDP has no more right to talk about corruption. PDP institutionalized corruption in Nigeria. Nigeria is still suffering from the terrifying looting of PDP years in power. All the money's made when oil prices was high, yet nothing to show for it. They should allow PMB to clean their mess. God bless President Muhammadu Buhari. And thank God that Tebu says repentant Boko Haram member kills father, reveals Ndume. Ndume should go and clear his name. After killing his own father, he reveals Ndume. And it is time for the suspected Boko Haram repentance to tell Nigerians and the world who have been sponsoring them. I beg, the World Bank should hold on with the loan. Let's pay the ones we have borrowed from China before thinking of borrowing another one. Bikonu, it seems that this administration wants to mortgage the future of this country with loans. When Thomas says granting amnesty is the least PMB could do, his parting shot will be the construction of a Boko Haram university. And Chitule Onyekelu says Ali Ndume was not a governor. When Thomas, I expect the World Bank loan approved for the education of the girl child in the north to be looted like others. Mackenzie Malachi Ndu says shameless PDP, grand patron of corruption. Sam Ekere, repentant Boko Haram killed father. Annie, you see why this so-called repentant Boko Haram charade is a hoax? As dubious as the government is, they are still bent on their deception. They honor criminals to the detriment of the victims. This government has failed. Oluna John Amechi, police raped me after arresting me. That's not in the newspaper review. Ake Progress, Mumu PDP. Oluna John Amechi, corruption under Buhari, embarrassing, shameful. PDP, yes, I concur with the PDP. You cannot tell me that you're fighting corruption. Why corruption is on a high increase every day. Under Buhari, monkey has swallowed money, sometimes something I've never heard before. This Buhari government now scam. But when they say this, I want to ask, remember that the monies were not the monies acquired during the period of Buhari. The investigation was during his period.
Yes. Even this money was swallowed under the previous administration. It's because this administration is exposing corruption. That is why they couldn't defend or account for this money.
I just knew Emmy was going to die.
That is the fact.
No, I just knew you were going to come in there. We've got to go anyways. Thank you very much for everybody else who sent messages and called in. It's time to go. Precious UDK.
Well, on a final note, I will only urge Nigerians to start seeing Nigeria from the perspective of Nigerians and not from any ethnic, religious, or political divide. It will really help us. And I think that is part of the reasons we're having the security challenges we are so doing.
Precious UDK Esquire is a publicity secretary, Nigerian Bar Association, Port Harcourt branch. Thank you so much. Emifia Haga.
Yes, before I round off, I wish to say a happy birthday to Ogenetega Emmanuel, aka Angel, as you clock 12 today. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, Angel.
Yeah. I think Nigerians, we should stop creating insecurity so that we have a society where every one of us will actualize our potentials and let us expose corruption.
Emifia Haga, political analyst, adolescent and adult literacy volunteer. Thank you so much. Dr. Emmanuel Iroyanema.
Reintegration, government, think deep. No further waste of money. These so-called repentant persons could be used very well. Take Sambisa Forest as our new farmland and make these persons useful to us.
All right, then, Dr. Emmanuel Uriah, a chartered arbitrator, mediator, management consultant. Like I said, I mean, all of this, you should be there telling government what they should be doing. And socio-economic commentator. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Emmanuel Njukwe.
Well, I certainly believe that government has to be very careful in bringing back those they said they've de-radicalized and, of course, who are repented Boko Haram members. Whatever snake is must be long. Look well before bringing them back.
This is where we wrap up on the show. Thank you so much for being part of it. We'll be here again on Friday, of course, this time with the Funky 4 team. Entertainment Express comes up next. Stay tuned for Dave. Dave, was that your entertainment name? There's something you used to call yourself now. Is it Sugar Daddy or Daddy Sugar? Exotic Daddy. Wait for all the entertainment juice coming up in just a moment.
Ultimate Search 2020 Battle of the Ports. The hit is on in search for the Noodles Ultimate Search winner. To participate,
pick up your film at Today FM Drive off East West Road before UPTH Port Harcourt, River State.
Or log on to www.noodlescookingquest.com and send a text with your full name, age, location, and a 3-minute video of yourself while cooking Indomie noodles via WhatsApp to
081 83 89 2850 081 83 89 2850
and stand a chance to win fantastic prizes. Online auditions will hold in Oyo, Lagos, Ogun, Ekiti, Ondo, Delta, Abuja, Cross River, Edo, Uyo, Anambra, Kaduna, Katsina, Kwara, Rivers, Enugu, Imo, Osun, and Benue State. Audition entry starts on the 2nd of July to the 1st of September 2020.
For more information, please call 081 83 89 2850.
Get up! Pick up your pots and spoons. Let's get cooking. Proudly sponsored by Indomie Noodles, official media partners.
Today 95.1 FM.
Port Harcourt, are you ready? Today 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
You got a fetish for my love. Been waiting for a lifetime for you.
Listen to Entertainment Today
every weekday
at 11:30 a.m.
And I'm so I don't even mind, I'm loving you. Every weekday
at 11:30 a.m.
Only on Today 95.1 FM.
Voice of the people.
The Balogun. Balogun for so many reasons. Balogun because I have the vibe. Balogun because I have the flows. Balogun because I know the door. Balogun because I'm your real SG, Bolo Artifact. Stick with me and let's create more Balogun memories.
Balogun memories.
The Tribal House representative, they call me Ice Prince, baby. And you're logged on to www.